it under consideration, adding that Russia is ready to continue talks. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The Dow from Stifel's up 221 points to 42,543. We've got a crash. They've just cleared out 6440 westbound at Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Watch out for a stalled vehicle 55 north at Loughborough.
An interesting afternoon of weather for us. Partly sunny, windy, and warm, but rapidly developing scattered strong to severe thunderstorms. Prime time, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., with a real focus of a widespread severe weather outbreak across southeast Missouri and southern Illinois, especially on a line along and south of Rolla, DeSoto, Redbud, Nashville, and Mount Vernon. But St. Louis, Metro St. Louis, we're right on the edge of that, so we really have to pay attention. The two dominant features will be strong winds and large hail, so it's something to pay attention to. And, of course, we'll keep you up to date. Tonight, it's all gone. Clear skies. It's windy. 59. Saturday, sunny, breezy, and cooler. 78. Sunday, partly sunny and 80. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck, your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. We've got 83 degrees downtown at the Arch. Winds are out of the south-southwest at 15, gusting up to 25 miles per hour. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Well, welcome into Friday on DGS. No Dave, no Andrew.
Oh, man, what are we going to do?
Here's what we're going to do. Be 104.1 FM in the afternoons, Razor and Wheels. It's either that or we could do like, it's the Rachel and Kevin show.
I think we do better.
Want to do the Razor and Wheels?
Yeah, Razor and Wheels.
You treat it like there's a truck meet this weekend. Sunday, Rachel and Wheels. 104.1 FM. We could do that or we could just be normal.
Yeah, let's just be normal. Let's try normal.
All right, let's
and
be
if
normal.
we need to resort to these other themes, we can.
It's kind of, I've heard people over the time, like even guys jokingly on sports radio, like, you know, like it's like National Talk Like a Pirate Day, and then people are like, let's talk like a pirate today, and it lasts like 4 minutes. Like, this is stupid. Let's just not do that. Just be normal.
I grow weary of the bit.
It's a bit for like a minute, and then it's not funny anymore. Like this bit, that bit right there, that's it. It's over. It's not funny anymore. It's funny for like 30 seconds, and that's all we got. We got a busy show today. Sue's going to be joining us in the 2 o'clock hour. Alvin Reed is going to join us. George Mahey, Dave Murray, as always. Matt Pauley's going to pop in. Bernie's going to pop in as well. We're getting ready for a Cardinals weekend in Kansas City. I won't get too deep into this. This is kind of a funny manufactured rivalry weekend in Major League Baseball. So like Cardinals, Royals, and their White Sox and Cubs, which is where Dave is. Dave is up at Wrigley for the first time with Nick, and they're just going to experience a weekend at Wrigley Field and see what it's all about. And it's a good rivalry, so they'll have a good time. It's not a good rivalry in terms of how good the teams are, which is why I joke that it's invented, because rivalries are one thing, like the crosstown rivalry or the I-70 rivalry. The Cardinals Royals one is a decent one at the moment because they're both about the same. They're both pretty good. But it's not like they hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not totally invented. There's a little bit of a rivalry there, but the last time they really actually competed for a meaningful thing was a really long time ago. It was 40 years ago.
Oh, wow.
It was the 80s, the last time they were obviously meeting in the World Series. And like, there's a friendly rival. It's more of a friendly rivalry. And then the crosstown Chicago one can be heated, but it's usually one team's good, one team's not. So it's not that way. But like Mets Yankees this weekend will be that. So it's that. We won't talk about that after these 20 seconds. That conversation's over. We will talk baseball a little bit later on. I will say that, coming into the weekend, the world just won't stop being weird.
I mean, yes.
It just won't stop. Like, are we ever going to get to like just normal times where we're just going to be like, everybody's reasonable? The reality of a thing matters more than the hype and more than however anybody wants to twist something. Because it doesn't even have to be one story. There's the whole 86-47 thing that's going on, which again, all right, if you're James Comey, be smarter. Be smarter. You're the former director of the FBI. You don't have, I mean, I get it. He's got free speech. I completely get it. But you still have common sense, and you can be like, I'll probably not wade into those waters in any kind of weird way. But like the fake outrage is just killing me, because you can go to Amazon right now and Google and search 86-46, which would be Joe Biden. The T-shirts are there. Prominent people were tweeting it. It's just a resistance thing. It's stupid. Yeah. It's all stupid. And this is why I want to be normal. Can we just be normal? Can we get to a point where we're not making politics our identities?
Yeah, I agree with you, Wheels. What I decided to do was I decided to ask Grok.
Oh, well.
I said, what does 86 mean?
Yeah.
Because people seem to be having this debate, and I'm like, you know what? I'll ask Elon Musk's chatbot or whatever. Oh. I'll ask Brock. I'll ask Grok.
I wish it was Brock. That would be funnier. Just ask Brock.
I'm gonna name mine Brock. And the Grok says the term 86 has a few meanings depending on context. None of these meanings that Grok gave me mean like assassination.
No.
It just means like, oh, get rid of, or like move on to the next, or But that being said, James Comey, here's what I can't get over with the James Comey thing. So he's presumably on vacation or at his beach house or something. Right. He's having a lovely time, taking a walk on the beach, sees some seashells. And the first place his brain goes to is, I should spell out.
I should stir up trouble.
I should air out my grievances with Donald Trump and then post it to the internet. It's like, dude, enjoy being on the beach. Enjoy your day. Have some positivity and some light in your life. Like, why did you even do that in the first place? It's very silly to me and a little sad. Like, you're chilling on vacation and that's where your mind's at. That's weird.
Let's be crazy. Let's be real, though. Like, all the people, like, arrest him now. Well, then you got to arrest all the people that had 86-46 T-shirts, right? I mean, it's stupid. It's incredibly stupid. And we all do it. And by saying we all, I'm just including myself in the group of Americans. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think most of us don't do these things.
Yeah.
I'm really convinced that like 80% of us do not take part in these things, but they take up so much bandwidth. The people that do get into it are so noisy and so repetitively vocal on social media or on their own media outlets, right? That we just, like, most of us don't look at any of those things and even care. Mm-hmm. I think the average, but it blows up. It's on the news nonstop. It's all over. You can't go on Twitter right now without seeing something related to, it's not even just that thing, although that thing, has been trending now for a good, 24 hours. But I don't think most people care, because most people will see those things and they get what it is. They understand it. And there are people that understand it that blow it up on purpose because it suits their personal goals. It gets them engagement. It enrages people. And we got to stop taking the bait. No matter what your political alignment is, stop taking the bait. That's all it is. They're just throwing like fresh meat into a pool of sharks. And the sharks are going to eat. We're not sharks, though. We have cognitive ability. We have the ability to be like, no. I mean, remember the line? Did you see Mad Max, the one with Tom Hardy?
Yes.
Where he's like pointing to that's bait. That's what this is. That's what all of it is. It's rage bait. And nobody even cares about the reality that 86-46 existed for, I don't know how many years, 2, 3, 4 years. And nobody cared. I didn't care. I still don't care. And I don't even care about this, except for the idea that we're just suckers and we fall for it. And I include myself because we're a country. We're all Americans. And we fall for too much dumb crap.
So Comey has basically apologized. He's come out and said, I didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence. It never occurred to me, but I oppose violence of any kind, so I took the post down. But then did you see, I think the Secret Service went to go visit him and talk to him about the seashells. And it's like, whoa, that's really weird.
Yeah.
Because like you said, these 8646 t-shirts and I mean, all over Twitter today, like all these MAGA influencers, people were digging up posts where they were like 8646.
Right.
It's like, did they get a visit from the Secret Service?
And
like,
they shouldn't have. And it's all nonsensical because and that's kind of the point, right? We do this back and forth. We do it, and then when somebody else does it, we don't like it. But I don't think it's even like. I'm more skeptical than that. I think it's more they don't care what true is.
Yeah.
This action right now gets me what I want, which is normally engagement, because that's how these accounts make money. They make money based on how much engagement their posts get, not on how true it is, not on how witty it is, not on how intelligent it is, simply based on how much interaction it gets. Well, what generates the most interaction?
Anger.
Rage. Anger. Yeah. And I wish we were all more cynical. I feel like that's the easiest thing in the world to understand. If you see something outrageous on Twitter, it's probably outrageous because that's what gets engagement. And if we all had a little more common sense and just didn't take the bait, and think about how many other things that like we can easily brush past. I'm like, that's not a thing. But as soon as it goes anywhere near political waters, we bite.
Yeah.
And again, this is the same. There were people, and I didn't find them. I don't have them in front of me, but there were people who were getting outraged at the 8646 thing a few years back. People on the left were outraged by it. And again, if you're outraged by that 3 years ago, you should be outraged today.
Yeah. And
if you were not outraged by that, you should not be outraged today. It's just simple common sense. But nobody has a memory anymore. Everything that is more than a few months old is forgotten. But it doesn't even matter. Like that's the frightening and the irritating part is it doesn't even matter what was true. I forget who it was. There was one. Was it Jack? Was it Posobiec? That guy,
whatever his name is.
He was the one that was doing the outrage thing, and then somebody posted back at him like, "Bro, you just tweeted this last year.
Here's your tweet,
right?"
Dude.
And he just like the response to it is no response.
Yeah,
you just pretend that it didn't happen, and it doesn't really matter because all that matters is your current message got all this engagement, all of these likes and comments, and that's what he's making money off of. And we get a lot of conversation over time about. It's wrong that celebrities make so much money or that athletes make so much money. It's just they're not worth it. But think about how influencers make money. And again, not just political. This is how influencers on TikTok make money. It's entirely about getting you to look at the thing that they're putting out there. Mm-hmm. Nothing to do with the quality of it. Nothing to do with whether it's above board or below board. It's just how many eyeballs see it. That is probably the lowest, and it's not crazy when you think about it in an economic term, right? If you have a product and you sell a lot of that product, a lot of people want it, well, then you're going to make a lot of money. Doesn't matter what that product is if a lot of people want it, but apparently we all want rage. We all want to be outraged and angry.
I think there are definitely people out there who like feed off of the rage, like because I know people personally who like being angry, who are like,
hey, I'm right here.
Well, I wasn't going to say it, but there are people who are like, I can't stand this show, but then they watch it all the time or they listen to it all the time. And I'm like, I'm just not like that. If I don't like something, I try to avoid it because I don't get that reward in my brain where it's like, they suck. Like that doesn't feel good to me. I try to avoid that as much as possible. But then I think there's another segment of the population that we just have a hard time handling our emotions. So when you see something that it's upsetting and you get that wave of anger, of rage or whatever, we don't have the tools to work through it.
Yeah.
And that's more concerning to me than the people that want to do it. They're always going to be there. There's always going to be an industry for this because it's like, and they want to play that game. I would rather reach out to the people. It's like, yeah, you feel mad right now, but what if we just like took some deep breaths and like, let's
did a 30-second Google search to
exactly.
see, oh, wait, this has been a thing now for a few years and it's not that big a deal.
And you wonder if that's because the internet is still relatively new. Social media is still relatively new. We're still getting our sea legs. Maybe that segment of the population will kind of change over time.
One thing I'm curious to see, that's kind of what I'm wondering is your generation, millennials and then the Gen Z. you guys are the first ones to grow up with social media.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up, my generation, Gen X, we grew up with technology, right? We were there for cable and satellite and then the internet and then social media too, right? We're still into that. We didn't grow up on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter didn't exist until I was, see, how long has Twitter been around now? Is it 16,
I feel like
17
it was like
years?
2007.
2007. So yeah, I mean, I was already 36 when Twitter even was a thing. And by the time it was a big deal, I was probably 40. So it's a different thing than growing up with it, which is what your generation has done, which is what Gen Z and Gen Alpha will do. And I hope they'll handle that better, because I would love to see a breakdown of which age groups fall most for the rage bait.
Yeah. And you know what else? I saw a study recently that shows people are more likely to fall for, like, I know we're not necessarily talking about misinformation, but that's a huge problem too.
Yeah.
You're actually much more likely to fall for misinformation if you spend a ton of time online. Like the longer you're online, the more susceptible you are to just accepting the things that you see, which I thought was amazing. Like not in like oh, that's great, but in a way where it's like, wow, I can't believe that. You would think it would kind of be the opposite, but
it's funny because it used to be if you get an email and it's like your crazy uncle sends you this thing in like 42-point font and it's all purple and it's like, this is the biggest problem, whatever the problem is. Like it used to be that, and now it's just Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and you got on TikTok, you don't even know what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
You really have to like see a thing and you're like, okay, is that a thing? And then you have to go search, where I think a lot of people just skip that step and go right into, oh my God, I saw it on TikTok.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan, along with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. Doctor, when should somebody typically get a hearing evaluation?
Charlie, the simple answer to that would be at age 65. However, there are some contributing factors that might make people more at risk for hearing loss. Some people with a history of noise exposure, or a family history of hearing loss, or those suffering from tinnitus. Those people should come in to have their hearing evaluated at age 60. And of course, anyone noticing difficulty hearing or ringing in the ears should come in as soon as they notice these changes.
That's the word from Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center, with 3 convenient locations: Florissant, St. Peter's, and Creve Coeur. Schedule an appointment today by calling 636-441-7470 or the Audiology Center STL.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Join Lombardo Homes Saturday, May 17th for the grand opening of our newest decorated display at Autumn Hollow in Wentzville. Tour our beautifully designed display home, enjoy light appetizers on us, and experience firsthand the craftsmanship and style Lombardo Homes is known for. Current homeowners, come say hello and meet your future neighbors. Located just off Highway N, west of Hopewell Road, Autumn Hollow offers spacious home sites surrounded by natural beauty in the highly rated Wentzville School District. Visit LombardoHomes.com to learn more.
Ford is built for America, from America. Hi, I'm Andrew Suntrup. There's never been a better time to buy a Ford at Suntrup Ford Kirkwood or Suntrup Ford Westport. Right now, everyone pays employee pricing, tariff-free, and no hidden increases. Drive home in the Ford you've always wanted, built with pride at a price you can trust. Hurry in, these offers won't last. Visit Suntrup Ford Kirkwood or Suntrup Ford Westport, or shop online at suntrupford.com. Save more at Suntrup Ford.
Selling your home? Every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. My friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. Check out the only agents I trust. Go to thegelmanteam.com. That's thegelmanteam.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
1041 FM KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Stronger than ever.
All right, it's Friday on DGS. Dave is out. He's in Chicago with Nick. They are, I guess they're on the way up today, right?
Yeah.
Like they're doing the train and then.
Was texting with Dave a little bit earlier. They're in Chicago now. It turns out he thought he had bought tickets for tomorrow's game. He actually bought tickets for today's game.
Oh, it's a good thing he went to the early train. Yeah.
So they are going to the game and then they're going to go to tomorrow's game too. So
nice.
That's cool.
And they'll have good spots to go out to dinner because they're afternoon games.
Yeah.
It's a great spot. It's a really good time. It's better when you go for Cubs Cardinals because that's actually a rivalry and there's a lot of fans from both. White Sox fans are pretty indifferent at this point, but still, it's a cool place if you haven't been there, if you're a sports fan. So that's what they're doing. Andrew's in Los Angeles.
So cool.
I think Andrew's going to come back with his name on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Man, I hope so.
Looks like he's having a good time too.
Yeah, that was actually really funny last night. He was sending us pictures from his hotel. He sent us this picture of like this outdoor sitting area. It's so beautiful. It looks like a set from a TV show or a movie or something.
Yeah. And I told him he should go sit with the people that were out there.
Yeah, be like, I'm Andrew.
he's like, I don't think I'm going to do that. All right, so since we were on the internet tech and how we interact with social media and all that, I thought this other story was interesting. And this one won't take very long. It's not a deep. Well, it is actually kind of a deep topic, but not one that you can get too in depth on a show. But have you seen this story before I posted it, Rach? There's a woman who is married to an AI chatbot. Now, her husband doesn't have a physical body. It's just an AI chatbot with an avatar.
Okay.
So she made the avatar look like, whatever she wanted him to look like. And she goes through the relationship. They had a fight.
Oh, no.
She said the sex life is great, which, all right, wonderful.
Guess I'm just going to have to take her word for it.
Yeah. And again, it's really interesting. So she has spouse pass away not long ago. This was kind of a step towards kind of that. And she's very happy. Family's happy for her, all that. I'm not trying to judge. I'm just saying that that's, for most of us, that's like, okay, weird.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's going to be more normal. And this is why I brought it up, because in the story, they cited a poll of Gen Z. And they said that 83% of Gen Z said that they could see themselves marrying an AI-generated partner. Not that they're planning on it, not that they want to, that they could see it.
The thing I get really hung up on is honestly the marriage part.
Right.
Like, why would you want to be legally bound to? It doesn't seem like there's any benefits to being legally bound to.
Maybe you're not.
Like
Maybe
this.
you're just saying you're married.
Yeah, maybe you just have like a fun little.
Like you're calling it. I mean, like you can say that. I don't know. I mean, like there would be no tax benefit. There would be no like healthcare benefits related to that. So I mean, there's no practical need to formalize it. But I don't know. I actually didn't check to see if this woman went through the legal process to have the marriage approved by a municipality or by a religious organization or whatever. I didn't see that.
Okay, allow me to be a little judgmental for a little bit if you're not going to.
This is Judge Rachel on KMOX.
Well, I just feel like this is just a loophole for an actual relationship is two people like working out their stuff together.
Yeah.
There's going to be disagreements. There's going to be conflict. You come out of that on the other side and hopefully you're stronger for it. If you're married to, dating, whatever, a chatbot that's programmed, I mean, I guess she had a fight, so maybe they're capable of fighting.
They had a fight of some kind where the chatbot said, I don't even know who you are.
Oh, man, that is
like
brutal.
Literally, though. I think meant it literally, like I forgot who you were.
It's like I'm talking to about 75 other women right now.
Yeah, that may be a more thing about loneliness and issues we're going to have to talk about moving forward.
Yeah.
Start your day with an edge.
Total Information AM.
It's like breakfast for your brain. I wake up, I turn on the news.
I gotta listen 3 or 4 times every day.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
I like to wake up with the news.
Total Information AM.
It's where I get my news. Traffic conditions and potential weather that's coming.
If it's gonna rain, I want to know.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9.
I like to turn it on and just get caught up.
Where I get my news. The news, weather, and traffic.
On the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
So one of the reasons I really love Smart Mouth is I kind of call it like my bad breath insurance policy a little bit. Like, I know that when I use Smart Mouth in the morning, my breath is going to be fresh for 12 hours per rinse. You use it once in the morning, once at night. That's 24-hour bad breath protection. That's just not something I can expect from those other brands out there because they don't use the activated zinc ions that get rid of your bad breath the way Smart Mouth does. Smart Mouth is the only mouthwash out there that is scientifically proven to eliminate and prevent bad breath with just 2 rinses a day, 24-hour protection, like I just said. And they just upgraded their bottle. Now it has individual snap top closures. So Smart Mouth is easier than ever to open and use. You don't have to assemble the bottle anymore, but you still get that same 24-hour fresh breath now with effortless convenience. You need to check them out if you've never tried it. You can find Smart Mouth locally at Schnucks and Deerbergs or at Walmart, Walgreens, and Amazon, or go to smartmouth.com/Glover to snag a special discount. That's smartmouth.com/Glover.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
We're about to do Dave Murray's forecast, but first let's hear from Michael Calhoun.
We've got a severe thunderstorm warning, which has been issued for Franklin County, Rachel, Gasconade County, Lincoln County, Western St. Charles County, and Warren County until 2:15. This severe thunderstorm is east of Swiss, 9 miles west of New Haven, moving to the northeast at 60 miles per hour. And this has 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So it's not a tornado warning. It's a thunderstorm warning, but still 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Locations in the path of this: O'Fallon, St. Peters, Wildwood, Wentzville, Lake St. Louis, Darden Prairie, Weldon Spring, Cottleville, Moscow Mills, Innsbrook, also I-70 between exits 193 and 219. Severe thunderstorm warning for Franklin, Lincoln, St. Charles, and Warren until 2:15. And we'll get a live update from Dave Murray coming up at 2 o'clock, Rachel.
Thank you, Michael. Dave Murray's weather is brought to you by Overhead Door St. Louis. Let's listen to the afternoon forecast now. Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Success is picking up extra shifts for your family. Now you want to be the boss. Success is getting your foot in the door. Now you want to take the next step. Success looks different to everyone, and University of Maryland Global Campus can help you reach your goals. And there's never been a better time to get started on your future. Apply now and save with no application fee. As an accredited state university, UMGC has been transforming lives for over 75 years. With more than 135 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates, online and hybrid courses, personalized support, financial resources, and lifetime career services, achieving your dreams is more possible than ever before. Choose the program that's right for your career goals and get started on your next success. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Check out The Terrace in Eureka for affordable senior living with 24-hour nursing supervision, delicious meals, medication management, and activities. The Terrace is affordable and will work with your Medicaid plan. Go to rspseniorliving.com and look for The Terrace Private Assisted Living.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Rach, can we play this back when we have Dave Murray at 3:30?
I know. I was like, no pun intended.
Because I think it's not long after that these storms are supposed to come through, right? In
I
like
know,
4 or
yeah.
5 o'clock.
Yeah. I was thinking about playing some tennis tonight, and then I remembered those thunderstorms were coming. So
Do they last? Well, I guess we'll find out from Dave when we can follow up with questions.
yeah, yesterday I thought he said between 2 and 7 p.m., but I could be wrong.
It'd be interesting to see if it's all through that time or I know my Dave Murray unapproved app says that thunderstorms forming in 45 minutes.
Whoa.
So we'll see. It doesn't show any little rainy or lightning-y things after 4 p.m.
Well, that's the official
so,
term.
So right. It doesn't have any little tears or lightning bolts on the app. So the app's always right. Don't tell Dave I said that. I don't know if anybody saw it, but during the break when we were getting Dave on yesterday, I was holding my app up to the camera so that he could see that I was looking at it. He gave me a look,
Well,
man.
he still gave you a weather badge after that.
I think he knew I was kidding. I knew I was teasing. But I got my weather badge, because I understood atmospheric conditions at Mile High Stadium in Denver.
There you go.
And I'm a trained weather spotter.
That's true.
That's my second weather badge from Dave Murray.
How long did that weather spotting certification take?
A couple hours.
I kind of want to do it.
You should. It was it was interesting. It was not. You're obviously watching a lot of videos and like it's giving you things to look for and like how a lot of it was procedural. Like how do you report certain things? So how do you report the size of hail? How do you report? Because you're not supposed to go out there and get in the middle of it because they don't want you to get hurt. How are you supposed to report like wind damage? Like, what does it tell you? Like if there are branches down or, if garbage cans, like they're really just giving you how they want the description so that they can, the National Weather Service can best kind of relay that to people in terms of what's coming through or what's coming next. It's that. Like, I'm not really, I mean, I like to give them more. Like, I think it was 42 knots coming out of the south.
And they're like, okay.
They're like, okay, champ, keep on with your try hard.
Okay, am I crazy? Is this just like really stupid? And once I was there, I wouldn't have fun. But the thought of going and sitting in a class for a couple of hours as an adult, now that I can, force myself to pay attention a little better, that sounds kind of nice. To take a class.
I wouldn't go as far as nice. But it wasn't like awful or boring or anything like that. It was interesting because you're learning some things about.
And you're there of your own free will.
Yes, and you can leave if you want to. Although it was at the police station near our house, so I felt like maybe I shouldn't take off. But it was a nice room with a big projector screen, and again you're looking at storm video, which is always interesting. because I'm the dork that goes out on the porch. I know I'm not alone in that. I know there are a lot of us that do that. I bet Dave does that.
Oh, yeah.
Dave Murray, I mean. I know Dave Glover does.
You know he's out
Dave
there.
Glover, well, the two of us, we do the same thing. We're all like, oh, let's see. There's a tornado siren. Let's go look.
Yeah. Dave Murray's out there with a kite and a key.
I bet he doesn't even need that. I bet he just does the thing where he like licks his finger and he puts it up in the air and that'll tell him exactly what's coming.
The hail.
Mine is more like I can feel it like a half an hour in advance because then my knee starts to hurt.
Really?
Yeah. I think Dave even said that's a real thing.
Oh, yeah, it definitely
like it's something to do with
is.
the barometric pressure or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I made that up. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not.
It has to do with the tears and the lightning thingies on the app, I think.
You know what it is? Like when you've got the little tears from the sad clouds falling down and the lightning bolts. Every time I say lightning bolt, I think of that LARPer meme. Have you ever seen that guy?
I don't think so.
If you don't know what you do, but I know there's maybe some people that don't know what LARPing is. It's live action role playing. So like you could say that's what Civil War reenactors are doing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will do medieval LARPing. So you'll dress up like a knight and somebody will dress up like a queen and somebody else will dress up like a mage, like a wizard.
Mm-hmm.
And they were having this fake like LARPing battle. This is old too. This is probably from the 90s, but it's one of the greatest videos ever. And this guy has bean bags and he's a mage. He's a wizard. And every time he throws a bean bag, he's saying, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. And he's just like, they're killing this big tree monster. It's pretty great.
That's fun. I'm glad they were having a good time.
But every time I say lightning bolt, that's what I think of now.
Okay. If you were going to LARP anything, what would you like to dress up as?
That's a good question. Lord of the Rings, probably.
Yeah,
maybe too. Star Wars. It'd be one of those two.
I think I would like to dress up as Eowyn from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
I think
you want to be. That's the lady from Rohan, right?
Yeah, I would need a long blonde wig.
Who would I be from there? I'm probably Gimli.
I like that you just immediately answered your own question. I'm Gimli.
I like to fight. I'm pretty obnoxious. I just have to not shave for a little while, get the beard going. I'm short, stocky. I'm Gimli.
I could see you with an axe.
I'm certainly not Legolas. I'm not the pretty guy.
Yeah, he is a pretty boy.
Yeah. And I'm Gimli for sure. Or at least one of those dwarves. Either him or his cousin. One of those two guys.
Okay. Could
be ones from The Hobbit, because there's a larger crew of dwarves in that one. I could be one of those dopey ones too. But I'm too angry to be one of the nice ones. I guess Gimli's probably right.
All right.
Yeah. Plus pretty competitive.
You're both redheads.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably it. I might do it for Star Wars too. But I don't know who I would be there though.
I would want to be like a stormtrooper.
Yeah, I can't be Darth Vader. I'm too short. I could be R2-D2. Just waddle around. Beep, beep. Although, I've had a lot of people ask, like, what's the difference between people who do that and sports fans who wear jerseys?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a little difference because you're not acting out the game when you're wearing your jersey.
True.
Although when you're a kid, you do that. You go out back and you play wiffle ball with your friends and you're acting up with your kids. I mean, kids play cops and robbers. You play knights and villains or whatever. I don't know. We didn't do any medieval fighting when we were kids. It was never that. But we did do Star Wars stuff. We were always, who was the Empire and who was the rebellion and all that.
That's fun.
Yeah, we didn't have any choice though. Not that we had choices of what we were going to do, but we were going to be outside.
Yeah.
Like you're not inside all day when you're a kid in the 80s.
Yeah.
Or in the 70s, because I was born in 71, so like late 70s to mid 80s. When you got up in the morning and you ate breakfast, you were gone. You just went outside. Sometimes you were gone like other side of the neighborhood. Other times it was just across the street or maybe in your own backyard. But you were like, your parents were like, get out of the house, go outside.
So let me ask you this, because I saw an article recently about parents feel like they're losing valuable time with their kids because their kids just want to be on screen so much.
Uh-huh.
And I know you're not like super anti-screen. You're definitely not anti-technology. No. But don't you think there's something to be said for like your childhood in the 80s when you were outside all the time? When you're out there, you're creating memories that you can reflect back on.
Sure.
If you're looking at a screen, I mean, I have screen memories of like, I was watching that Twitch stream a couple of years ago. I can't really recall specific things. I remember the warm fuzzy feelings it gave me, but it wasn't like I was creating memories. Do you see like the difference there?
I think so. I think there should be more of a balance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying put the screens away. I think you have to, like, doing things matters.
Yeah.
Like actually going out and doing things really helps. It helps you learn how to deal with other people, even when you're a little kid and you're compromising with your friends on how you're going to play and what the rules are and what you're going to play and what are you going to do. I mean, like that stuff is invaluable as much as just the physical activity that goes along with doing those things, right? But I'm okay with like, because I was still, I mean, you know, it's not like it was the 1940s or 50s and you didn't even have cable. You know, I mean, we watched a lot of TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like we didn't have screen time. It just wasn't a phone or an iPad. It was a television set. So, you know, you would spend, depending on if it was raining, you're watching TV all day. You know, so you definitely had screen time, but the balance of it is fine, right? I don't have a problem with kids being on screens, but they have to have the other side too. I just don't know that kids now are granted the same freedom that I had.
Yeah.
In fact, I know they're not.
Are.
I know they're not. And I know that partly because my kid didn't have the freedom that I had. And I don't know why. I didn't make a conscious decision to do that. Part of it was she was pretty chill and didn't really push it. Mm-hmm. Didn't say, I want to go do this. It was never a restriction. It was just more of kind of a habit. But you know, our next door neighbors, like her friends lived literally next door. So they were always going back and forth when she was a little kid. But it's not like where I was literally gone all day.
Yeah.
And my parents had no idea where I was, no idea what I was doing.
And that was what was socially acceptable.
Oh, no, that was it. Yeah.
If you would have been, when Shan, you know, in the 90s and the early 2000s, if you would have been like, all right, see you in 8 hours, like other parents would have been like, Wheels, what is wrong with
Why
you?
Why is your kid wandering the neighborhood alone?
It would have been like, even if you wanted to necessarily do that, I think you would have gotten backlash.
We've seen people get arrested.
Yeah.
What was the woman that made her kid walk home like a mile?
Yeah. Not a big deal.
Like the police came and like, that's child abuse. Like, it's not child abuse. No. Your kid can walk a mile home.
Yeah.
I can't even count how many miles I would be away from home on a lot of summer days. I mean, 3, 4, 5, just bikes gone. See ya. And I'm talking at like 8.
Yeah.
I'm not talking 13. I'm talking like 8, 7, 8. We used to walk to kindergarten without our parents.
Yeah.
Like walk. You're just walking through the neighborhood. It's a suburb. We didn't have to go on any main roads or anything like that. But it was probably close to a mile walk. And it was a 20-minute walk. And just like 3 or 4 of us would be walking to school and 5, 6 years old. No big deal. It's just what you did. You knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
They walked with you once, showed you the way. And after that,
good luck.
Boom, you're on your own. Just go ahead and walk to school, kid. No big deal.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
We started Neovitin because we wanted to create a multivitamin for ourselves. That's why we focus on quality ingredients and formulas with our multivitamins. Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins are formulated with over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our 4-ingredient physician-formulated proprietary blend for the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins a try for yourself. Find them at your local Schnucks, Deerbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Create the ultimate raised bed garden with St. Louis Composting. Our premium compost and soil mixes are perfect for filling the raised beds you'll enjoy building, and even better for growing fresh, homegrown veggies. Imagine harvesting your own tomatoes, peppers, and cilantro for fresh salsa the whole family can enjoy. And with delivery right to your door, getting started has never been easier. Visit stlcompost.com to order a convenient delivery from your phone in seconds, or stop by one of our 9 locations in the St. Louis area. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens and making memories.
That's Friday on DGS. Dave is in Chicago. He is currently at the White Sox Cubs game, and the White Sox were winning last I checked. I think they're still winning. And then he and Nick are going to be going to games for the next couple of days. They'll be back on Monday as usual. Andrew, when's Andrew back? I forgot.
I think he's back a week from today.
Okay, so he's out for the whole week next week.
Yes.
Okay, he's in Los Angeles. His brother's getting married. They're out there having a good time, and I'm sure we'll have plenty of stories from both of them.
Yeah.
When we get back to next week. So the two of us are here hanging out, and we got Sue Thomas coming in at 2:00. Bernie's going to join us at 2:30. Alvin Reed at 3:00. Dave Murray 3:30. George Mahey 4:00. Matt Pauly 4:30. Busy Friday.
Packed show.
We always have busy Fridays, though. That's kind of our habit here on DGS. Rach, you had a thing that I thought was interesting about I love the emoji wars.
Oh, yeah.
It's just one of my favorite topics because it's just that interesting inability for people of different ages to find ways to communicate with each other without thinking that that one should be able to get your method, right? You know, older generations are always mad at kids for how they communicate, and then the kids get mad because you don't understand this emoji is not good anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't have a book that tells me.
I know. And it's like, I'm old. I don't know what's going on.
You're old. Rachel's like, I'm old. I'm 30.
There's more emoji drama. There is now an emoji that doesn't mean what I thought it meant. And it's a really simple one. It's the smiley face emoji.
The smiley face.
The just regular
the harmless smiley.
Yeah, the smiley face.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, Gen Z and below, they take that as being sarcastic.
Oh, for God's sake.
So if I were to send you an email and say, oh, thanks, Wheels, and I included that smiley face, they could interpret that as me being like, oh, thanks. Which it's like, I don't.
You got to know your audience, right? Like, who are you? If you're texting with your mom and dad, assume they're texting like mom and dad.
Yes.
They're not texting like your friend who's also 15.
Yes. Andrew sent me a really funny tweet the other day. Let me see if I can dig it up really quick. But it was about the thumbs up emoji.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel like I have it right here. Oh, it says the thumbs up emoji is linguistically fascinating because it either means I hate you or I am 52 years old and happy with
you. I mean, like all forms, like what we do every day is some form of communication, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. We have another warning if we could
let's get to
Michael Calhoun.
Thank you. At 1:52, we have a tornado warning, which has just been issued for Crawford County and Washington County. It is until 2:30. We've got live with us KMOX meteorologist Dave Murray. Radar is lit up from Bowling Green down to Mountain View, but this is just passed through the Rolla area, Dave.
Yeah, this is a little different than what we're kind of used to in St. Louis. This is not a solid line of storms. These are individual supercells that are kind of out there all by themselves. They have rapidly developed here in the last 2 hours or so. And the one we're talking about that does have tornado indication is around St. James right now. It's also got a lot of hail associated with it. It's moving towards Cuba and Steelville and Leesburg. Those are the areas that you need to be a little extra cautious of. The storm's not there yet, but it's getting closer and closer to you. It is moving off to the east-northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So they're moving very quickly. There's also a cluster of thunderstorms to the north of that. And again, this is not a solid line. There's pretty good hail maker near Owensville. And then we drop to the south, and that's where tornadoes are breaking out all over the place. There's lots of warnings. They're just outside of our listening area. And they're basically around Summersville, Eminence, also Mountain View, and Birch Tree. Those, again, are pretty well south of the St. Louis area. So the one that we're really worried about is the one near St. James right now, but also the one near Owensville is really starting to cook. These storms, now, not everybody is going to get strong to severe weather, but they do mean some business where they hit. Tornado watch in effect till 7 p.m. Heavy blinding rain, localized flooding if you get under these severe storms. Dangerous lightning, winds over 80, possibility of large, long-track tornadoes, and large hail, golf ball up to baseball size. So that's very large for the St. Louis area. And again, we're going to be dealing with this off and on throughout the afternoon. Again, not everybody is going to see this stuff, but you're certainly looking outside. You're going to see these towering cumulus clouds and thunderheads. Again, these things mean business, and we'll be on it all afternoon. Michael?
Thank you very much, Dave. Just to reiterate, thunderstorm warning for Franklin, Gasconade, St. Charles County. Also, tornado warning for Washington County until 2:30. We'll talk with Dave again coming up in the news at 2 o'clock. And as this marches into the St. Louis, heart of the St. Louis Metro, we'll keep you up to date.
Thank you, Michael. We appreciate it. Obviously, we're going to be breaking into weather coverage throughout the afternoon, it looks like, for at least the next couple of hours. So it's just how we do. And look, It's important. You're looking, I showed the map. I'm sorry, Mr. Murray. I used the app just to show the radar. Because there is a lot of purple and red. And those are scary colors.
That's what we call rock and roll weather.
Yeah, we will keep you updated here on KMOX.
Ready for instant curb appeal that comes with a 25-year transferable warranty? Call Rhino Shield today. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, aluminum, steel, cedar, and more. Over the past 20 years, we've done thousands of homes, businesses, churches, schools, condos, parking garages, large metal buildings, and strip malls, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks. We do flat and sloped metal roofs to extend their lives too. Proud to be veteran-owned and manufactured in the good old USA. So we're tariff-free. We're exceeding expectations every day. Evaluations are free. A+ rated with the BBB and a lot of 5-star Google reviews. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't hate, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. Dreaming of a brand new home but don't want to wait? You are in luck. McKelvey has dozens of brand new move-in ready homes with tremendous savings. And take advantage of our special 30-year fixed financing from the Fives. We have a wide variety of luxury custom homes in prime locations, all with McKelvey's legendary quality and personal service. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200. And always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original overhead door. The most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this important announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-384-7878, 800-384-7878, 800-384-7878.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 2 o'clock, we've got wind downtown at the Arch, 85 degrees. We're in the KMOX Storm Center because there's a tornado warning for Washington County, severe thunderstorm warning for Franklin, Lincoln, St. Charles, Warren County. Let's take you to KMOX meteorologist Dave Murray with what we need to know, Dave.
Biggest thing to remember here is that if you get under one of these severe storms, and not everybody's going to see that, you can expect the works out of this thing. So let's not just focus, is there a severe thunderstorm warning? Is there a tornado warning? It's not going to matter in these storms. They are very powerful and they certainly mean business. It's not a solid line. These are what we call supercells. And there is a batch up around Silex pushing towards Ellsbury. There is a batch right around O'Fallon right now. So it's moving into and through St. Charles County and into northern portions of St. Louis County here in the next 30 minutes. There is a big cluster of thunderstorms from Washington to Union to St. Clair to Sullivan down to about St. James. Though St. James, you are just about clear. The one that has at least a radar indication of a tornado is just between Steelville and Cuba. So just south of I-44, pushing towards Leesburg, and it's working its way towards Highway N and also Bourbon. You're going to be very close to this thing over the next 30 minutes or so. Again, that will be moving across the area and moving into portions of southern Jefferson County here in time. It's going to take a little time to do that thing. Also, a new storm developing around Bonne Terre, Parks Hill, and Irondale and Potosi right now. So these things are bubbling all over the place. Also, a little further south, Bunker and pushing towards Mountain View. There's another cluster of storms there. Again, not everybody's going to see really wild, severe weather, but those who do, and a lot will, but not everybody. Tornado watch in effect till 7. These storms will produce heavy, blinding rain. Don't fool around with this. If you get caught on the highway, pull over and try to get into a safe spot. Localized street flooding, some small creek flooding, dangerous lightning, winds over 80 miles per hour. The possibility, though, again, not for everybody, but there's a possibility of some large tornadoes out of this thing. And that's kind of what we're dealing with off to the south of Sullivan. And large hail, that's more people are going to see hail than anything else. Golf ball up to baseball size hail. And this will be bubbling through the afternoon. It should all easily be gone by 7 o'clock tonight. I would say here between now and let's say about 5 o'clock this afternoon is going to be the roughest period for the St. Louis area. Michael?
Thank you very much. Meteorologist Dave Murray will keep track of the latest as the warnings continue to come up. And right now, let's check in with Fox 2's Chris Renier, who's near St. James.
Hotel clerk kind enough to let us park under their overhang. We had intense rain, wind, thunder, and lightning. I'm going to roll down the window to my car because the tornado sirens are still going off here in St. James, although the wind and the rain and everything has passed, at least for the time being. But you may be looking at some of my video that I took a short time ago. The wind was so intense that you could really feel it moving my SUV as I was parked under the overhang. And it was pretty incredible the amount of people who wanted to take cover in the same overhang I did, because there was some hail. It was only pea-sized hail here, but there was some hail mixed in with the storm. But we got more very heavy thunder, lightning, and rain, horizontal rain band at the time. Tornado sirens still going off now as we speak.
Fox 2's Chris Renier. We've got stalled vehicle 270 south at Dorset on the right shoulder. Also a stall 270 southbound at Doherty Ferry.
Rumbling skies possible between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. as we go through our Friday afternoon. Partly sunny, windy, and warm. Some of these storms could quickly go strong to severe. The main zone of severe weather is going to be just off to our south. Southeast Missouri, southern Illinois, especially along and south of a line from Rolla to DeSoto to Redbud, Nashville, and Mount Vernon. But we are going to be very close here in the metro area. So let's keep a close eye on that sky, as I will. Tonight, clear skies, it's gone. It's windy, 59. The weekend looks great. Saturday, sunny, breezy, and cooler, 78. Sunday, partly sunny and 80. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Sponsored by Renner Garage Door, and the National Weather Service has just issued a severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Calhoun County in Illinois, St. Charles County, St. Louis County, Eastern, and St. Louis City as well. It's until 2:45. Thunderstorm over Defiance, 7 miles southwest of Darden Prairie, moving to the east at 55 miles per hour. A thunderstorm warning with 2-inch sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Also includes Babbler State Park and I-70 between 216 and 231. Severe thunderstorm warning for St. Louis City and County, St. Charles County, and Calhoun County. And right now, downtown at the Arch, we've got 85 degrees. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. The beginning of a new season is a perfect time for a tune-up from my friends at Renner Garage Door. Need a new door? Get a free replacement quote today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER. The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
.206, false start, Wheeler. Started talking before turning on the microphone. 206 on DGS. Dave is out. He's currently at Wrigley Field with Nick. They're experiencing that for the first time. Neither one of us ever been there. So, yeah, it was a little father-son trip to Chicago for the weekend. And then Andrew is in L.A. for his brother's wedding this week and this weekend. And then they're going to hang and do some Disney stuff. And
that's nice.
We will have many tales from the two of them when they come back. Dave will be back Monday as usual. And then you said, Rach, Andrew's next Friday? Or is he going to be out?
Next Friday.
Okay.
I think I wish he was taking the whole time off, because then that would be like a nice long vacation for him. But I think he's coming back a week from today.
He'll be, I mean, like those trips, and you've done these, you guys done these, you're tired.
Yeah.
Usually I'm ready like by a certain day. I don't know what the day is, especially when you're doing theme parks and stuff. But like after a few days, you're like, all right, I'm tired. Let's go. I'm tired.
I've learned to take a buffer day.
Oh,
So
we do the same.
You can't do it without that.
Yeah.
You do that now, Rach, right? For Japan trips?
Yeah,
Because
time
you
it
did
to
it
come
once
back
without
on
it, didn't you?
No, I've always
Okay.
come back on like a Friday or a Saturday to
Okay.
at least have one day to try to recover.
I apologize. We did not introduce Sue. Hello, Sue. Sue
Hi,
Thomas is in.
Sue's here.
Sue at 2. A couple things we got to do business-wise. First of all, we just ate cake during the break.
The cake was so delicious.
Yeah. So the cake is here because our newsroom has won 4 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. So they won for breaking news coverage, excellence in sound, excellence in writing, and overall excellence.
You guys, that is awesome.
The newsroom here is really badass. I mean, like this isn't, especially on a day like today, you're going to hear the interruptions because there's terrible weather in the area, dangerous weather in the area. But that's why, one of the many reasons why our newsroom is so important, because when stuff's happening, they're on it. Our job is to talk and entertain and, inform, yes. But like when the things are hitting the fan, there's a reason they are the ones that come in and take over, because they're the ones that are on top of what's happening, whether it's weather, whether it's, Ferguson back in that time, whatever it happens to be, they're on it. So, yes, we're all a part of KMOX, but the newsroom specifically is winning those Murrow Awards, and those are big deals. Like that's not some little small timey, hey, congratulations, our magazine gave you award. No, these are really big deals. So congratulations to Beth Coughlin, who's our news director, to Michael Calhoun, to Sean Malone, Maria Kina. They all do a phenomenal. I'm leaving people out, so I'm just going by the people I've seen on a regular basis when I'm walking through there. But they do a phenomenal job. Megan Lynch, Debbie Monterey is part of that too. So I feel like I'm doing an awards speech for them.
I'd like to thank my mom.
I want to thank all of their moms and dads. But no, thank you guys for being great. And also thank you, Michael Calhoun, for bringing the cake.
Absolutely.
Cake's
It's
really
from
good.
Schnucks, I heard.
Yeah, it's very
delicious.
Good. Very
Schnucks
good.
makes a good cake.
They do.
That's just how it is.
And obviously on that note, there's bad weather in the area, really bad weather in the area. We will have break-ins here quite a bit. Michael pop in with Dave Murray. We have our normal schedule with Dave Murray at 3:30 as well, but we'll be on top of it. So if it sounds like we're doing our normal goofy things, we are. But when stuff is breaking, when there are new warnings, new alerts, anything, we'll break right into weather mode and make sure everything's covered.
Brian says Sue is the queen of traffic in the STL.
Oh, well, that's very nice. That's funny because I'm just looking it up on my phone, seeing what's happening on the road.
So speaking of the phone and the weather stuff, we were during Michael and Dave doing the news the weather update. I just pulled up the radar on my phone so I could show it to the people that are streaming. I held it up to the screen and TW said, KW, you're poking the bear. That was not meant to tease Dave. I did that yesterday, Sue. Dave hates the apps.
Yes, he does.
And I held it up to the screen when he was waiting to come on. Just as a gag. He still gave me my weather award.
Oh, well, that was nice.
What are you talking about? Badge.
He gave me a weather badge because I understand atmospheric impact on baseball in Colorado.
I like that we're giving out badges now. I think that's cool.
know.
It's like you won a Pokemon battle at a gym. You got your
I
fire
want a badge. I want a badge.
Wait, what does that mean? Like
Dave held up a badge and said, "Here you go. That's you."
I want a badge.
I have 2 now. I got one because I'm a trained weather spotter.
Rachel, did you get
so I
a
get to get that.
badge? No, I didn't.
Well,
I didn't.
Go to the weather class and you'll get one.
And it was kind of messed up because Dave Glover got a badge as well.
He did
And it was like,
yesterday.
oh, I guess I'm the one.
Well,
Oh.
Andrew didn't get one either.
Well, Andrew wasn't here.
Oh, that's true. He was not here yesterday. You're right. This is kind of like school. If you're going to bring some, bring enough for everybody.
Exactly. Give me a badge, Dave Murray.
Jeez.
It's okay.
That's
I
pretty
love
low.
Dave.
That's pretty low. Obviously, we got a lot of. We're going to hang out and have some fun. Bernie's going to join us at 2:30. We have Alvin Reed at 3:00, George Mahey at 4, Dave Murray, of course, throughout the afternoon, but at 3:30 specifically with us. Matt Pauley at 4:30 too. So we're going to be all over the place. I wanted to run one thing by you. I know we have some cool fun things. We'll do Craigslist. What do we call that again?
Craigslist Price is
Craigslist
Right.
Price is Right. We got some cool things, but I wanted to throw this thing at you because I saw this yesterday. So this is not about anything happening here at our office.
Okay.
I saw this. This is a TikTok creator who said this happened to him, and he was doing the TikTok from his work lunchroom. Okay. So he was in trouble, big trouble with his bosses, because over a period of time, and it sounded like it was weeks, he was bringing food to work, leaving it in the fridge, and when he'd go to get it, somebody had eaten it.
Oh, that's very frustrating.
And it was happening regularly. And he went to his bosses and he said, look, this is happening. There are cameras in the lunchroom. Can you guys look and see to see who's doing it?
Yes.
And they told him, no, we can't do that. We're not going to do that. And so what he decided to do, at the suggestion of his wife, according to him, is he decided to put laxatives in his food.
Uh-oh.
And it worked because the person that ate his food had issues on the job in front of everybody.
Oh, my gosh.
And it
Wait a minute.
Turns out it was one of the supervisors he was complaining to.
Oh, man.
So now he's afraid he's going to get fired. I haven't followed up to see.
Okay.
And I just wanted a ruling on this because I think he is totally in the right. I do not think he should face one bit of punishment because it's his food. And if somebody hadn't eaten his food, they would not have gotten sick.
Agreed, Kevin. And do you think the reason that they did not say, yeah, we'll check the cameras, was because one of the supervisors was in on it and was the guy eating it? Or do you think that was a legitimate, yeah, we can't do that sort of decision?
No, it was clearly covering.
It was because he did it.
I think there's something seriously wrong. Like, maybe I'm just weird about other people's food, but generally, I don't want to eat I don't want to bring food you brought from home. Like, I just don't, especially if it's if it's one of you guys, it's totally different. But if it's like, yeah, this is some homemade food and coming from a mystery home, I'm like, I'm going to pass. But to go through the fridge and be like, they brought this is their leftovers from dinner last night that they were going to reheat for lunch. I'm just going to gobble that up. I think that's so weird.
I totally agree.
It's the worst.
He has done it on a regular basis and was purposefully it's messing with this guy.
Yeah, and so he knew that the guy was upset about it. He knew the guy was saying, we need to do something about this. I don't want my food to keep getting eaten before I can eat it. And not only did he not confess, not only did he not say, I'll go look into it, he just covered for himself and then did it again. And I'm sorry, but I hope he had those issues for days. But apparently it was like he said the guy works in a, what was it? In a warehouse. And the problems happened on the warehouse floor.
Uh-oh.
That it hit real fast and caused a big issue. But again, good.
Question.
Good.
Do you think he just put
probably a lot more than he should have? But again, so what?
I'm not saying that shouldn't happen. I'm just saying that must have, because that just seems
to just hit you like that.
Hey, listen, again, you're right. I think what he said is he actually was stupid. He's like, I was dumb. I should have done this at home, but I did it in the lunchroom, so I'm on camera doing it.
Oh, whoa.
But still, I think he is totally justified.
I agree.
I don't care what he did. The point was that was not for anyone else. And
what if he wanted to eat all those laxatives?
I mean, that's also, Well, one of the commenters was like, you should have told him you were having problems and you put it in there to help yourself out. But then again, it's probably a little too late.
Well, you know that took care of the issue. That won't be happening again.
I don't know why do we go on the side of the person protecting their own stuff is the bad guy?
I know, I don't get it.
If I were him and I got fired, I would sue.
Okay, somebody, remember this, Rachel, back in the day in this building, somebody was eating I had a big thing of butter that I use for toast in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
And they ate it. And I really don't mind if you come to me and say, Sue, do you mind if I have some butter? That's fine. You can, of course, have it. But it just kept disappearing. And I made like a lot. Till one day I came back and there was nothing in there. And I really liked toast at the time. And I thought, this is... So I went to the store and got butter-flavored Crisco.
Uh-huh.
So it's not going to cause you any harm, but it's going to taste.
Yeah, it's going to taste like butt. Yeah.
And I put it in there. I took the old container.
Good job, Sue.
And I took out a spatula, and I put it in there. And we even did like a fake knife across the top, so it looked like somebody had done something. And I have no idea whether somebody tried it. But then weeks later, I put in the real stuff and it wasn't touched again.
Oh, look at you. Brian looks like he's on YouTube said, clean up on aisle 3. Larry ate my lunch.
And also I have an update on the weather badges.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Dave Murray has sent a message. He says Sue and I get weather badges.
Nice!
Too.
That's great.
So I feel a lot better now.
That's good. You guys earned them.
Thanks.
Thanks. Okay, fine.
By whining and demanding one.
I mean, it's
and then I was
2020.
given one.
Let's be honest, it's 2025. Isn't that how it works?
Absolutely.
We can redeem ourselves.
You know your customers. Ralph likes his coffee black on Fridays, but Mondays he takes a little cream. Jennifer comes in every 3 years when her lease is up to get the newer and better model. And for some reason, pepperoni pizza sells like crazy on Friday nights. Who knew? At Odyssey, we have the expertise to get your media plan done right. With ads like you're hearing right now, to targeted social media campaigns, search engine optimization, and location-based advertising. Advertise with Odyssey and help us grow your business. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
Ask most contractors about a kitchen or bath remodel, and you'll get similar answers.
So how long?
Yeah, about 2 months. Longer than that. 3 days.
Longer than... Wait a minute, what?
3 days.
3 days?
3 days or less. With 3-day kitchen and bath, you get a new kitchen or bath finished with top quality products and craftsmanship, all in 3 days or less guaranteed.
No eating out because my kitchen is in shambles for a month?
Nope.
No borrowing the neighbor's bathroom for weeks on end?
You'll have a whole new look in 3 days or less.
And those other guys?
They want our web address. Hey, what's your web address? See?
A lot of people will.
Just visit 3daykitchen.com. 3daykitchen.com.
3 days?
3 days. Yeah, isn't that something? 3-day kitchen and bath. Simply amazing.
3-day kitchen and bath.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-million. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
It's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Give my friends at Zero Res a call today. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and tell them that Dave Glover sent you.
11:20 a.m., 104.1 FM, and streaming on the Odyssey app. KMOX is with you, however you listen, wherever you listen.
All right, it's DGS on a Friday. Sue Thomas with us. Dave is in Chicago at a ball game. Andrew's in Los Angeles. Otherwise, full crew. I'm sure we're going to have more weather breaks coming up, more weather mode popping in because it's getting dark out there, and it's already bad in certain spots, as you've heard on our updates. We'll keep you updated on how things are rolling along. You want to do a little Craigslist Prices Right, you guys?
I would love to.
Why did I have a hard time saying that?
I don't know.
Prices Right, you guys? Prices Right, guys?
The price is right.
You guys. That's what it meant to sound like. Thank you, Rach.
Okay, wait. I got to write down.
Okay.
Oh, you got to get your pen.
Yeah, I like
you got
to
paper?
write stuff down. Okay, yeah.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so our first listing is out of Sunset Hills. There's a lot of listings out of Sunset Hills, it feels like. These are quail eggs.
Huh.
They are good for eating or hatching.
Wait, what?
Quail eggs. 1 dozen quail eggs. How much do you think those are going for?
You can eat them or you can put them under an incubator and they'll quail out eventually.
Wait, I didn't know that's how that worked.
I think
What do you
so.
mean?
I thought that eggs that we got were just, these are quails. Like, I thought the eggs we got were the ones that weren't,
Yeah, quails might
weren't
be a little
birdies.
different. And also, this is Craigslist. So, I mean, they might not know
Yeah.
what they're talking about.
Okay. They're going to ask. They're going to ask. You go ahead. You can go first. So,
A dozen quail eggs, I would pay $10, Rachel.
Okay.
If they are, if they're anything like the regular egg prices, I'm going to go 20.
Sue gets this one only $4 for the dozen quail eggs.
Yeah, because you could just eat them, Kev.
I know. That's just, I don't know. I find that to be a little weird.
Next up, we have a Sound of Music collector plates set.
Yes!
Also out of Sunset Hills. It's a new condition, complete set of 8. Sound of Music, each is 8.5 inches. They all have limited edition numbers on the back, and it includes a certificate of authenticity. I guess you would display these in a china cabinet or perhaps hang them on the wall. But
That's a movie, right?
Oh,
the
my
Sound
gosh.
of Music, yes.
Okay,
Sorry.
I love Sound
I
of
was
Music
trolling.
so much. What's on it? Like, is one with like the face of every kid on it? What is Fraulein Maria? What's happening?
From what I remember, because I actually put this together a couple weeks ago, it's like stills from the movie, like when they're on the hill.
Maria
and they're
singing
exactly,
in the Alps.
exactly.
Oh, I love it. Kevin hates it.
I've never seen it.
Well, we're gonna have a movie night.
I
Wheels.
will never watch that movie.
Come on.
I refuse to watch that movie.
You're right. There's no heavy metal in it.
That's right. If it was a heavy metal musical, I'm in.
Yes, but there are Nazis.
Well, but do they shoot them?
Well, no.
No, but they evade them.
Okay.
Okay, Rachel, I love Sound of Music. Don't like plates like this. But at Sunset Hills, I've got their quail eggs. I'm going to say, and a certificate of $50.
Okay.
I'd say 100.
Wheels actually gets this one. Woo! They want $150 for these plates.
No.
Well, here you go. Ignorance is bliss. It helped me out.
One more Sunset Hills listing for you guys. Man, this would be perfect for Andrew, but he's not here. It's a Boy Scout utility knife.
Oh.
And we know he's
you
a
guys
Boy
know
Scout.
I have a knife, right? Like a utility knife.
Like right now?
No, it's in my car. I don't keep it in my pocket.
You keep
But
it
it's
you're
there.
brandishing
Because it's got
it at me.
scissors and it's got like what do you call it? A can opener, and it's got a screwdriver. It's got everything.
How big is it?
It can fit in the palm of your hand. It's a foldy one.
Oh, okay.
It's like a Swiss Army knife, but like a newer, fancier version of that.
Is it too big to like keep in your pocket? I feel like
No,
my
it
dad's
fits in my
generation
pocket.
did that.
Yeah, it fits in my pocket. I just don't want it there because if I need it, my car's literally right out the door.
That's
I can go
true.
get it. I just keep it because every time I need to cut a string or open a box or fix a piece of baseball gear when I'm out, like I'm like, I don't have what I need. Well, now I do.
Very
I have
nice.
my knife, my multi-tool.
You don't want to get stabby in the office.
No, it's not a stabby knife. It's only like a little like 3-inch blade. It's not like that scary. It's put it this way. We have cake knives out there that are scarier than that thing.
Dangerous looking knife.
I know. That's a bit of our station lore, Sue. Do you remember that?
What?
When there was a dangerous looking knife in our sink and it was just one of the big cake knives.
I do remember that. People must be
There's
going.
an email to everyone. There's a dangerous looking knife in the sink. Like, yeah, we cut cake with that.
So
It's the
this
cake knife.
Boy Scout knife is new in the package. It has 4 dependable blades, the hand-honed steel blade, a safety can opener, a punch, a cap lifter, and a screwdriver.
There's some stuff going on.
Yeah, it's
in
kind of like
Sunset
mine, but mine's
Hills.
better.
I'm gonna say. Wait, you go first.
Okay, I'm gonna say so. I was gonna say $5, but I bet it's more because they're gonna view it as it's a Boy Scouts thing and it's collectible. I'm gonna say 20.
Oh, dang it. I'm gonna say $20. I really like that. I'll say 25.
Sue gets this one. Weird price. They want $28.
All right.
Huh.
That's a bit of an overcharge for the brand. Mine's cooler and it's better and it's not that much.
And you've not even seen this one.
That's right. It's a good point. It could be awesome.
Yes.
Let's see. We have a never used vintage 1981 Betty Crocker's microwave cookbook.
Oh.
It's a hardcover and it's coming out of West County. It's in excellent condition. It's never been used. This cookbook explains how to use the microwave oven to prepare over 250 delicious dishes.
Oh my
From
gosh.
appetizers and soups to main dishes and desserts.
Okay, when we moved here in 1976, my mother got a microwave and it was enormous. And I had it for years and it weighed 8,000 pounds. I mean,
Yeah,
it was so heavy, but it came with a cookbook, a microwave cookbook. But no, you don't really want to cook anything in the microwave.
No, you should not. You can warm things up.
You just want to warm stuff
Yeah.
up. So that would be an interesting collectible that no one will ever use. I will give you $15.
Yeah, I think there's a reason why it's never been used.
Yeah, because
I'm going to go $8.
Sue gets this one.
Jeez.
$50.
What?
Yeah, because I think it
For a
might,
cookbook nobody ever opened?
Yeah, I think it might be collectible because they don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No likey.
We have time for one more quick one. How about a chinchilla out of St. Peter's?
A real one?
A real one. A sweet male chinchilla looking for a new home.
Ah.
How much you paying for this little guy?
Oh, I almost looked up chinchilla just to see what they look like.
$75.
Oh.
Kevin, you got it right on the nose.
Yeah!
$75.
The Chinchilla King.
But Sue still wins this round. She got 2 and you got
Hey, we're going to have an update for you on all the weather coming up in the news. Dave Murray's going to pop in. We'll talk to him again in an hour. Sounds like we're getting pea-size hail in St. Peter's, according to Amy on our text line. Feel free to send us messages if you're watching on the stream.
When it comes to baseball in St. Louis, there's one station that's all in. KMOX. At noon, it's the Gas House Gang.
Let's talk some baseball.
Smart, unfiltered conversation with real baseball minds. At 5, the Redbird Rush Hour delivers sharp insight, fresh takes, and the latest from inside the clubhouse.
Now the pitch.
And when it's game time, we bring you every single pitch, all season long.
It's a gunner!
Others talk sports. We live Cardinals baseball. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Create the ultimate raised bed garden with St. Louis Composting. Our premium compost and soil mixes are perfect for filling the raised beds you'll enjoy building, and even better for growing fresh, homegrown veggies. Imagine harvesting your own tomatoes, peppers, and cilantro for fresh salsa the whole family can enjoy. And with delivery right to your door, getting started has never been easier. Visit stlcompost.com to order a convenient delivery from your phone in seconds, or stop by one of our 9 locations in the St. Louis area. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens and making memories.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Let's get an update on the weather. We'll go to Michael Calhoun.
Thank you very much, Rachel. It is 2:30, and the good news is that the tornado warning we've been tracking has expired. Still have another 15 minutes for St. Charles, St. Louis City, and County on a severe thunderstorm and a new severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go to meteorologist Dave Murray for the latest on what we need to know. Dave.
Yeah, Michael, it's interesting. The threat of tornadoes appears to be dropping out of this, at least for the time being, until these storms cross the river and get into Illinois, where they'll actually gain some power. But the strongest storm right now is in St. Louis County. In fact, it's a pretty good hailmaker centered on Maryland Heights, just to the north of Creve Coeur, and that is moving towards St. Anne, Woodland Terrace, St. John, Overland, and eventually Bell Ridge. So it's moving to the east, maybe a little bit to the northeast, but that's the strongest storms. Got some pretty good action all the way back towards Harvester into and Chesterfield, though you're kind of right on the most intense part of that, back edge of that. There's also clusters of storms, and these are clusters. That's not a solid line, but that batch that's in St. Louis County, mainly St. Louis County now, will be sweeping across downtown St. Louis, mainly downtown St. Louis, and points north here in the next 30 minutes or so. So it is going to rock and roll for a little bit across downtown. There's other storms up to the north in Illinois around Whitehall and Carrollton and Jerseyville, kind of on the southern edge of that. The stuff to the south has kind of gone sporadic, very isolated cells now, but very intense. There's actually no warnings on those particular cells. That was the one that produced a possible tornado, but they have lost a little bit of energy. There's some new storms developing around Fort Leonard Wood, and then there are more storms to the south around Annapolis, Ellington, down to about Piedmont. Now, again, not everybody is going to see severe weather out of this, but a tornado watch in effect until 7 o'clock tonight. Heavy, blinding rain if you get under one of these storms, localized street flooding, dangerous lightning, winds of 80 miles per hour. The threat of tornadoes right now is very small, but I think that will be increasing as the storms really get into Illinois here in about the next hour or so. And large hail is still a possibility, anywhere from golf ball up to baseball size hail. So again, still not everybody's going to see this action, but it's going to be pretty active here up until about 5 o'clock or so across St. Louis. Michael?
Thank you very much, Dave. And for tonight, those skies will clear, low 59. For tomorrow, sunshine 78. Right now, downtown at the Arch, those storms about to blow through. As you heard Dave just say, we're standing at 84 degrees at 2:32.
Let me tell you one of the reasons I think we became the largest injury firm in the world, and it's not even close. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My wife and I had a plan early on. In our firm, our lawyers only work on certain types of cases. Our products liability and dangerous drug lawyers only work on those cases. Same for car crashes, workers' compensation, medical malpractice, and insurance disputes. Our thinking is for these lawyers to focus on one area of the law and live it and breathe it. Power comes from knowledge. Many lawyers do everything, jack of all trades. Not us, and we don't charge an hourly rate. You only pay us if we win. If you want to hire us, it's easy. Dial Pound Law on your cell phone, pound 529, or visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer from the comfort of your own home. Let us get to work for you. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
Tonight, the Cards, the Royals.
Ameren Total Access 545.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Bernie's segment is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Saliga Heating and Cooling.com, but we are going to go to Michael Calhoun.
Thank you very much, Rachel. At 2:34, the National Weather Service has just issued a tornado warning. You may have had your phones just go off, make some noise, as we just did in the KMOX newsroom. Dave Murray, are you with us right now?
I am, absolutely. It is a new tornado warning. And remember, just a few minutes ago, we were talking about this large hail maker centered on Maryland Heights. That is why a tornado warning has been issued. There are some signs of rotation in those clouds. And more importantly here, let's focus that this warning goes into Illinois. So it's for really central portions of St. Louis County, from St. Louis City to the north more than any other part. So that's going to affect Berkeley, Ferguson, Cool Valley, down through Pagedale, University City, Clayton, and Ladue. And then in time, it's going to cross the river and it's headed towards Blackjack, Spanish Lake, Bellefontaine Neighbors, and Granite City. And let's throw in Madison too, just because it holds together. And again, that focus is St. Louis City to the north more than anybody to the south. It is definitely a large hail maker, not getting any confirmed reports of tornadoes on the ground. But because there is such large hail associated with this, that's usually one of the signs that we deal with when it comes to possible tornadoes. And that's one of the reasons why the warning has been issued. If you live out to the west, like if you live in Chesterfield, you're not in the warning. You're all clear from that particular warning. There you go, Michael.
Yeah, Dave, as I try to get the radar pulled up here, folks are going to be in their cars. And so where can you, especially when we talk about the interstates, 6470, where should people be aware if they're in their car?
First of all, know that if you're to the east of this cell, know that it's coming towards you. And now's the time to either get off the road or get under an overpass. And that's about the best thing you can do. Get to a safe location. If there's a gas station nearby or a convenience store or a shopping center, strip mall kind of thing, I would pull off and go into one of those stores and ride this thing out. Not going to last very long, maybe about 20 minutes. But again, as we've been saying all afternoon, these things really mean business, and it will continue to mean business. It's a little unusual to have this powerful of a storm in the center of St. Louis County. These things usually blow up just on the east side, but this thing is blowing up, and it's going to hold together here as it pushes from really right across St. Louis County. I've gotten some reports from people in St. Louis County saying it's a horrible, horrible storm right now.
Yeah, we've got a report, for instance, of this is not related to the tornado warning, but softball-sized hail in St. Charles County. Huge sized hail, large, size of wind gusts, 60 miles per hour plus. If you're not in the tornado warned area, just looking out the windows here in downtown St. Louis, it looks like 8:30 p.m. in the middle of summer. It's dark out there, and
and the storm's not even there yet. That's the catch. And if you live in Maryland Heights, St. Anne, St. John, Overland, Cool Valley, Ferguson, Berkeley, Pagedale, University City, I'll throw in also Clayton, Ladue, and Olivet. This has the potential not only to drop a tornado, but more importantly, it has the potential to drop up to baseball size hail. That can do a lot of damage in a very short period of time. This is an area that has had some wicked hailstorms in the last several years, and they can do a lot of roof damage, car damage. If you're ahead of this storm and you're at home, try to get that car in the garage, because this thing is really pounding some hail.
It looks like at the radar there is a arc of a purple, dark purple zone in the middle of the red in North St. Louis County. You mentioned in the National Weather Service warning says that this was moving over St. Anne. Looks like this arc, I don't know if I'm going to call it a hook because you're the meteorologist, but it looks like it's just to the east of St. Anne and would be over St. John and Overland about now.
And that's where the heaviest hail potential is right now. So it all correlates very, very well. Trying to shift over here to exact. I've got about 5 different screens going here with the radar and trying to really dissect what's going on here. And I don't see a hook per se at this point, but it may be overshadowed by the amount of hail that this storm is producing at this point. But the tornado warning has been issued, mainly the fact that radar is indicating the possibility. But again, the hail potential is it is such a strong indicator of the strongest part of the storm and the possibility of tornadic weather. And that's what we're going to deal with right through St. Louis County, especially St. Louis North. Downtown may miss the brunt of this, but you're going to get something. And again, it's a mean looking sky. And then it will push across the river into Illinois. So folks in Granite City, certainly be aware it's coming in Missouri, Spanish Lake, Bellefontaine neighbors. It is getting very, very close to you. And again, it's a very strong thunderstorm. It's kind of what we call a supercell. It's out there all by itself. And again, do not fool around with this thing.
Taking a look at some of the traffic cameras out there. By the way, if you're out and about, and I want to say that if you're in a safe position and you're out, and you've got roads flooded, maybe you've got some sort of damage, maybe you're have seen a funnel cloud out there. Give us a call 314-436-7900. Rachel, if we get some phone calls, we could bring those into our coverage here, and you could be a reporter out there and help your fellow St. Louisans out, get the information out there to them. But Dave, taking a look at some of the cameras across St. Charles County, 94 at Zumble, it doesn't look to be too deep, but the cars are tossing up the water as they go through it. It's definitely pooling there. The Westplex is where this has come through first. So as people think about a wind gust pushing a tractor trailer or hail hitting their windshield, tornado, of course, watch out for the road in front of you, because I think we're going to see some flooded out streets in a little bit.
Yeah, the good news I do anticipate some street flooding, but this thing is moving very quickly. So we're not going to see like hours of rain out of this thing that could lead to some real intense flash flooding. But there is certainly ponding on the roads. There's some danger areas that with the hail, it is also just pouring rain as this stuff really approaches Ferguson, Bellefontaine neighbors, Jennings, and Pagedale right now, and University City. You've got stuff all around you. So it is moving, and it's moving at a pretty good clip, but it's going to take a little bit of time to get through St. Louis County over to the east side.
Now, the box for the tornado warning, the geographic area that the National Weather Service has said is within this tornado warned area, does go from Florissant at the north to Webster Groves at the south. That includes 64. Obviously includes the city of St. Louis, goes across the river, goes past St. Jacob and Marine in the Metro East. And it begins where the storm was just a few minutes ago, just to the west of Maryland Heights and Creve Coeur. But it seems as if the worst part of this, when it comes to possible rotation, as well as the biggest hail, is just to the north of Clayton, Clipping, University City, maybe?
Yes, absolutely. I would say if you live in Bridgeton, if you live down through Maryland Heights, you're just about all clear out of this thing. The storm has moved. Creve Coeur, you're still kind of on the edge of it. So you get out into central and western portions of St. Louis County where the storm's been pounding. You're basically out of the main threat. Still raining, and you're still going to have some downpours, things like that. But this is a dangerous thunderstorm. Again, we're focusing on St. Anne. We're focusing on St. John, Woodson Terrace, Overland, Veneta Park, and it's moving very quickly towards Ferguson, Cool Valley, Normandy, down through Northwoods, Pine Lawn, and let's include Wellston and Hillsdale. And then again, it will be crossing the river here very, very soon, but it's got to get past Blackjack first. It's got to get past Spanish Lake. It's not there yet. It's got to get past Riverview and Bellefontaine Neighbors. Then it will start to cross the river, and folks who live in East Alton, Wood River, Roxana, South Roxana, and let's get down to Granite City, Madison, Venice, and Brooklyn on the east side. That it's all coming your way. And again, if you're living on the east side, just on the east side from the river, this is time. Get your car in a safe place if you can. Get yourself in a safe place, because the storm is definitely headed your way.
As we approach 2:45 on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX, Michael Calhoun and meteorologist Dave Murray are with you as a tornado warning is in effect until 3:15. Another half hour or so for Madison County in Illinois, St. Clair County as well, and St. Louis City and County in Missouri. And let's listen to Fox 2 Chief Meteorologist Glenn Zimmerman.
Anything that can show us the downtown view, because the rotating part of the storm that now is over Clayton, this is giving us a real distinct view of a tornado that is pushing into downtown St. Louis. And there's the trajectory, and there are the cities that are involved. That rotation now over Wellston, moving into the U City or through the U City area, but into downtown St. Louis and in toward the Metro East area of Metro St. Louis, downtown and East St. Louis. So Collinsville, Caseyville, also on the edge, Granite City also on the edge of this thunderstorm right now as it's pushing east. This is just about the most distinct tornadic type cell we have seen over Metro St. Louis in quite some time. There's the rotation right there. That's where the rotating cloud is. It is just now over U City, Clayton, and Richmond Heights, and it's pushing east into downtown St. Louis right now. I'm not so much worried about hail at the moment, although there is large hail with that potentially, but I'm really, really concerned that this is a rotating storm that is moving through Clayton and U City and pushing into downtown St. Louis, kind of moving toward the McKinley Bridge, the stand span on the north side of downtown St. Louis. That's a real well-defined hook echo right there. And that is moving east right now toward downtown. Yeah, if we can get that, I know that camera is going to go in and out here as we go through the next couple of minutes. But if we
You're listening to Fox 2 Chief Meteorologist Glenn Zimmerman. We're live right now with meteorologist Dave Murray, as well as we're in the storm center because of this tornado warning. And this is a serious situation as they're describing. I've got my radar zoomed in here as well. This it hooks out, it spins out a red little dot in front of the storm. That's almost like a tail, Dave.
Yeah, and that's exactly what these things do look like. It is in the strongest part of the storm is in St. Louis City at this point. It is getting past Clayton. It's getting past University City. It's getting past Veneta Park, getting past Maplewood. Richmond Heights be past you here in the matter of probably about a minute or two. But this is kind of coming right down Highway 40. And folks in St. Louis City, you're going to be right on the line of the most intense part of this thing. So let's think the city to the north. So North St. Louis, you're going to be in this thing. And then it will come across the northern part of the city and then cross the river. Still got a little time to be crossing the river, but it's getting closer and closer. And it should hold its circulation only because it will now start to feed on a little cooler, as far as moisture is concerned, on the east side. And it will also start to get out of the city environment. This is such a powerful storm, and it's really going. But once it feeds on a little juicier atmosphere on the east side, it will really come alive. So I'm concerned about folks who live around Granite City, Madison, Venice, Brooklyn, down through East St. Louis. East St. Louis is going to be kind of on the edge. Also Fairmont City, it's going to be getting very close to you. And again, that's going to take a little bit of time. Pontoon Beach, you may be on the northern edge of this thing. It'll be close. We have to really see what happens as it crosses the river. But it certainly has some circulation in it. It gets a little muddled as far as in the city is concerned because it's fairly close to the radar dome. But it is a storm. That means business. And we don't see storms this intense in the heart of St. Louis because it just doesn't happen that often to the effect of the city, which is a hot, dry environment. More importantly, it is a dry environment. And that's what sometimes kills these things, but it's not killing this one. It means some stuff. Getting some pictures now out in the Chesterfield area of some tree damage, not widespread, but tree damage. Also getting some shots of hail, things like that from Lisa Knight. Thank you, Lisa, for sending those pictures to me.
And Dave, right now on Fox 2, they've got the camera up over downtown. The clouds are moving. They're analyzing it. Let's take a listen.
Washington Avenue, that is a real good view to watch here because that's essentially where the tornado is. And again, we see this all the time. There's rain-wrapped tornadoes that are really hard to see from the ground. You know, it's not like the Kansas tornadoes where you can see them for 50 miles. We get rain-wrapped tornadoes here in Missouri, and that's what we're looking at right now. And that tornado that is on the ground currently, this is a considerable warning now, very dangerous. Time to take shelter in Metro St. Louis, in downtown St. Louis, especially in Granite City, in Northwoods, in downtown St. Louis. There's a tornado on the ground. Boy, I tell you what, Clint, anytime we can get that stadium view to come back up and we can get that at least visible for a couple of seconds, that's the cell right there. We are seeing that wedge of a tornado pushing along that 40 corridor into the heart of downtown St. Louis.
View is of Busch Stadium with dark cloud descending from the sky above 6440.
That is moving to the north and east. And as that moves north and east, we are definitely seeing rotation. National Weather Service is confirming a tornado on the ground in Clayton and moving north to east, mostly east from Clayton, but a little more north into downtown St. Louis. And that rotation, again, real evident on our Doppler radar. Let's check it out one more time on the Doppler, and you can see, and let me put this as it's moving here fast. This is kind of what I feared along with this hail-producing storm, is that it gets into an atmosphere where the winds coming out of this will start to rotate, and there it is right there, the rotating cell now into the Clayton area, Big Bend, and U City, and now heading into the city right now. It's a little more east now as it's pushing kind of right along the edge of the city boundary. So north-south, I'm thinking Skinker, McCausland, but just north of 40. So we're getting into the Forest Park area of that. That's the rotating cell right there, moving into downtown St. Louis. Again, continuing to monitor that stadium view to get a little more visual potentially, but that is the rotating cell. We can see some, not a lot, but some, let me stop this, some debris potentially in the air along with this. Doesn't look like a ton, but right in through there, There may be some debris lit in the air, although
this is just north of 6440 and just east of I-170 that he's circling.
Showing that tornado really well defined here with the wind couplet as we can see it over Maryland Heights, U City, and pushing into downtown St. Louis. That is what you're looking at. So our camera is right here. We're looking almost straight into the storm system right now on the right-hand side of the screen. So what's going to happen with this camera view is it's going to shake. It's going to go in and out as the winds really pick up as this tornadic cell moves into downtown St. Louis. But we're definitely getting a good visual confirmation of what appears to be a rain-wrapped tornado. It's about to cross. Now, the spin of this tornado is about to move through the 70 corridor and will continue a northeastward push. So we'll start to change our view just a little bit.
253, this is an emergency situation on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Meteorologist Dave Murray, we're looking at the radar, and Fox 2 is also concurring that we're looking at rain-wrapped tornado just north of Highway 40, crossing over the Big Bend area, approaching Skinker-McCausland. Forest Park is the next heads up.
Yeah, I want to push this a little further east. Just got a report from the National Weather Service of a confirmed tornado on the ground very close to Venice. I think the most intense part of this storm is now coming through just north of downtown St. Louis. North St. Louis, definitely in it, right along I-70, and then crossing the Mississippi River into Illinois. Folks in Granite City, Madison, Venice, and Brooklyn, you need to be on super high alert right now. This is a confirmed tornado on the ground. We're not getting any damage reports yet, but it's certainly way too early for that. But this most intense part of this storm is now in Illinois, more so than in Missouri. It is right over Granite City, Madison, Venice, and Brooklyn, and it is moving to the east. This thing's moving very, very quickly to the east. It's almost due east, maybe a little bit of a tilt to the northeast at this point. So folks who live in Pontoon Beach, it's going to be really close to you. It may pass just to your south. Fairmont City, it may pass just to your north. That would include Washington Park. Caseyville, I think it's going to stay to your north. Collinsville, we're going to have to watch this. Maryville, we're going to have to watch this over the next 30 minutes or so. But it certainly is going to be very, very close to you as it comes through portions of Madison County in Illinois. But I want to really focus on the fact here that I think the most intense part of this storm is now in Illinois. Still raining in portions of St. Louis County, but the heart of this storm system is now east of the Mississippi River in Illinois. Still a very dangerous storm, and it's a storm that could gain power as we get into Illinois, and it starts to feed on the farmland, which has a little bit more moisture associated with it besides just what's in the atmosphere. So this thing is going to be fooling around here a little bit for quite a while, mainly in Illinois. I think if you live in Missouri, if you live around Berkeley, Ferguson, Cool Valley, down through Pagedale, University City, Richmond Heights, you are just about all clear from the most dangerous part of this storm system. It's still raining, but things are flying off to the east, and that is a good thing as far as portions of the area are concerned. We're getting a track on this thing, moving to the east-northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So this thing is flying now.
Yeah, looking at the track, 257 Granite City, 303 Pontoon Beach, 310 Collinsville, 315 Edwardsville, 328 St. Jacob, and then Highland, Illinois by 3:35 p.m. So this is marching to the east. The tornado warning is still in effect for, and I think at this point we're looking at St. Louis City as it approaches the river. And those reports of rotation just north of downtown St. Louis and approaching downtown. But the worst of this is crossing the river. But it doesn't mean, Dave, we should remind folks as we focus on the tornado, the immediate threat to life, that huge sized hail, gusty winds, all sorts of other threats with this as well.
Yeah, the maximum, and we've been saying all afternoon, not everybody's going to see this wild weather, but where it happens, heavy blinding rain, localized street flooding, dangerous lightning, winds of 80 plus miles per hour, the threat of tornadoes, and large hail that could be as large as golf ball up to baseball. You had mentioned earlier, Michael, that some softball size hail had been reported, and that is an amazing hail size for the immediate St. Louis area. Typically, you see that kind of size down in southern Jefferson County and points south. So this storm is a very intense storm. It's kind of out there all by itself. There are still thunderstorms behind it. They're not severe at this stage of the game, but it runs from about Jerseyville down to about Grafton, and let's take it back to O'Fallon in Missouri. And then there's still some storms, but they're way to the south. They would be south of Farmington, south of Fredericktown. And those are tornadic storms. They are two supercells that have some very impressive hooks on them. But let's think mainly south of Fredericktown down to about Williamsville in Missouri. So that's the southern flank of the storm system. There's also a cluster trying to get itself reorganized between Rolla and Salem in Missouri. That one actually just got a new tornado warning associated with it. So it's not like a cold, it's associated with a cold front, but the front's not coming through yet. So until that front comes through, the atmosphere is not going to be able to neutralize. So even though things may be calming down in your particular neighborhood, I want to stress there's still some stuff out to the west, and the tornado watch is in effect until 7 o'clock tonight. Right now, the most intense part of this storm that came right through St. Louis, northern St. Louis City, is right around Pontoon Beach now. I'm going to get a report here. Let's see if it. That's just more on the tornado warning, which we've been talking about. But Pontoon Beach, you are right on the edge of the most intense part of this storm system as it moves to the east northeast at about 40 miles per hour. But that's the most intense part of this storm. The atmosphere is coming alive again out to our west, as I mentioned, around, let's say, south of Bunker and around Ellington. This is way to the south, but it's showing me, and also between Rolla and Salem, it's showing me that the atmosphere is still very unstable out to our west. You would think, oh, we had the thunderstorm come through, so things should start to calm down. I don't think things are going to calm down here for another couple of hours across the listening area for KMOX.
Well, as we get to the top of the hour, let's do a reset here and remind people that this tornado warning for the heart of the St. Louis Metro, I'm scrolling through all of these to
it has been lifted.
That has been lifted, okay.
Yeah, as far as St. Louis City, St. Louis County, the tornado warning has been lifted. It is all in Illinois, and the kind of the western edge of it is Venice, Madison, Granite City, and you folks will be clear from this very, very shortly as it continues to move towards Glen Carbon and Maryville. Collinsville, I think you're probably going to be on. It's going to be just to your north, but folks in Maryville, folks in Glen Carbon, even Troy, even though that's kind of far out here, it's headed your way. That cluster of action is definitely headed your way.
And so this tornado warning remains in effect until 3:15, about 14 minutes left for Madison and St. Clair counties in the Metro East in Illinois, as you mentioned, Dave. And some of those storm reports that have been coming in, you mentioned that there have been reports of rotation with some of these cells, but there's also huge hail, 2-inch sized hail in Weldon Spring in St. Charles County, also 2-inch sized in diameter in Harvester in St. Charles. 1 inch in Chesterfield, 1 1/4 inch in Weldon Spring, along with 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, almost 2 inches Weldon Spring. I'm just clicking through these, and these are all about 2 inches, 1.75 for many of them. But if you're going 65 or 70 on the interstate, and you've got hail that size that hits your windshield, that's not good.
No, it's coming right through. Baseball size hail falls at over 100 miles per hour from the sky. Golf ball size is about 75 miles per hour. That's just the speed it drops out of the thunderstorm. So anything above a quarter size hail can cause incredible damage in a very short period of time. Also getting some pictures here out in Chesterfield of tree damage. and limbs down, branches down. Some roadways are blocked because of these trees that are down. And again, that's out to the west. But the heaviest part of this storm system is now in Illinois. And Pontoon Beach, you're in it right now, but you're going to be all clear here in about a minute and a half as it pushes towards Glen Carbon in Illinois. That's the most intense part of the system, and that's the one that is tornadic. So we have to continue to kind of keep an eye on that. This is a very powerful, dangerous storm system. It's not huge by any means. It's not a big area, but very rarely do we see that in wicked tornado type thunderstorms in the St. Louis area. They're usually small and they're really concentrated. And again, a little concerned, especially along just to the south of I-44, out to the west, south of Rolla, south of Cuba, south of Sullivan, south of St. Clair, that the atmosphere is trying to come alive once again, especially between Rolla and Salem. And we're going to have to watch that. That's moving to the east-northeast. Also, that should stay south of the metro St. Louis area. But again, we're going to have to keep an eye on what that is, because that also now has tornado warnings associated with it. But the tornado warning that has been coming right through St. Louis County is now in Madison County in Illinois, and it will be pushing towards Bond and northern Clinton County in Illinois here over the next 30 minutes or so. We'll see if it holds itself together.
Yeah, just to the southwest of the heart of the metro, Washington County, new tornado warning till 3:45. 3:01, the severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado 16 miles southwest of Steelville, moving to the east at 60 miles per hour. Steelville, Dillard, Cook Station, the Dillard Mill Historic Site in the path of this. But as you talk about some of the roads, some of the damage from trees or two trees, there are trees that are crossing Illinois 15 in southeast Belleville, according to the National Weather Service. Floraville, they've got a tree over Vogel School Road just north of Floraville. So tree damage in the Metro East, Vandalia in Missouri, Audrain County also experiencing this. And taking a look at the traffic situation right now, emergency vehicles have been at 170 south at Scudder. Also emergency vehicles on 270 going northbound at Page. That's got the left two lanes closed there. 270 north at Page. That's the same incident. A crash on 55 going southbound at exit 16200. All the lanes are closed there, according to MoDOT. 270 southbound at Dorset, there's a crash that has the left lane closed. A lot of these are that North County, Maryland Heights area, Dave, which we have been zeroing in on. There's one more note, debris on 170 going south at Forest Park Parkway. That's on the right shoulder. But again, we're talking about Dorset, Scudder, Page Avenue, all in that upper 270 area.
Right, and that's exactly where this cell moved across. And again, I want to just really let folks in St. Louis County, you are all clear of the tornado warning. It's still raining, and there still could be some lightning around from time to time. And hopefully all that stuff to the south is going to stay to our south as we get into the evening hours. But the cluster of storms now is around Glen Carbon. It's kind of in between Edwardsville and Maryville. And Maryville, I think, is going to stay to your north. Edwardsville, going to be close. Most of this action may stay just to your south. So that kind of gives you an idea of how tight this thing is. If you live in Troy, Illinois, I think the thing is going to stay to your north. But folks who live in Marine, again, this is a little time from now that it is also the possibility that it could be headed your way. And it is still tornadic at this point. It is what we call these rain wrap things. You really can't see them. The rain kind of, because it's blinding rain, and they're kind of the most dangerous tornadoes because it's like, I don't see a tornado. But we all know here in St. Louis, we love to walk outside and see what's going on. Don't do that. Don't do that with this storm.
That is why we're here. The TV stations are here so that you can, if you want to just take it in, you can do it that way without putting yourself
That's the safe way to do it.
in danger. It is 3:06 on KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, always live on the free Odyssey app, especially if you lose power, have to go to the basement, don't have a radio with you. You can always download that Odyssey app and listen to us and get the latest information if you're in your car as well. You've got your phone. And at 3:06, as these tornado warnings continue, let's listen into Fox 2.
Touch the ground per se as a tornado, but that doesn't mean that it won't. So as it's pushing now through Madison County, a well-defined area of thunderstorm energy that's rolling to the east. As we, again, I just want to do a real big reset here because some of you are probably seeing some sunshine and are going, okay, well, is the storm threat done for me? It appears that in a lot of spots west of Metro St. Louis now, western counties, Pike, Lincoln, Warren, Montgomery, Gasconade County, generally in the clear, I would say, although can't rule out development within the zone. We still have a tornado warning right now from Phelps and Dent County that extends now through Crawford and Washington County. We still have the tornado warning that is in effect for Madison County and strong thunderstorms potentially producing hail along that line. I don't want to forget Madison County tornado warning between Fredericktown and Farmington in Madison County. Strong thunderstorm there that's producing rotation. And at one point near Annapolis was reported as a tornado on the ground. Numerous reports of car accidents in Franklin County. Car accidents, trees down, wires down, Franklin County along 44 through the entire county. That comes to us from the Franklin County emergency managers. John Fuller is here with us too, monitoring things. John, what have you got for us?
Yeah, we've dialed up at Collinsville of Fan Duel on Max 11 camera because that's part of the Madison, Illinois tornado warning. So on Max 11, you can see a fringe, and what happens, you have the sky muted with rain, heavy rain, and hail. But this is the closest camera to that tornado warning, and the tornado in between Collinsville and Edwardsville, and looks pretty bad right now. And you see how quickly it changes in this time lapse at Lambert. One time you're out in quick sunshine, and then in about 15 minutes it's clouded up and you have visibility restricted by the heavy rain. We tried to dial up the U City camera, but that's down. That's near Clayton, where we had the report of the tornado on the ground. And there's downtown St. Louis. Doesn't look like much until you get that heavy downpour of rain and hail. Here's Belleville, Illinois. Look to the right because that's where that supercell is located. And another view, Waterloo, Illinois. Sunshine earlier this afternoon heating things up. And let's see if we can dial up Maryland Heights. Look at the sun's coming out. It's not completely over, but things have settled down a lot from near golf ball size hail, still drying out from that, and Haley blown back into the building. And some of the storm reports, Cahokia Heights not reporting. There it is. Cahokia Heights pops in there. A lot of folks streaming us, and that takes down the bandwidth around the area. The hail core drop visibility. Now, these reports come in and are updated more slowly than the tornado warnings, but there is the track. Impressive hail and broken windshields and shattered windows, 1-inch size hail. That was in Chesterfield.
As we've been telling you, the hail, a major part of this situation that the St. Louis area is facing. 310, Michael Calhoun with Dave Murray. And Dave, I'm looking at the traffic camera on 170, I believe, southbound at Forest Park Parkway at that bend right before you get to the exit, and they are moving slow. Some of them, middle lane is not moving. Outer lanes are going maybe 10 miles an hour around.
That's an area that collects water, as we all know. And also, there are a lot of tree limbs down, tree branches, even trees down.
We've got debris there on just before Forest Park Parkway. It is on the shoulder, but people are slowing down, presumably because of that and the water. Also, just want to put out there a KMOX caller, and if you want to impart any information to St. Louisans or tell us what you're seeing, what you've gone through, 314-436-7900, 436-7900. One of those callers tells us that 55 going northbound at River de Pere, which is the construction zone there. I think they're talking about the Germania exit. Tree branches and other debris are covering the interstate, the northbound lanes of 55 at the River de Pere, Germania area.
Yeah, again, the cell, I don't want to say that it's all great news, but it looks like this cell that's right around Edwardsville right now and points to the east has lost a little intensity. But just to kind of give you geographic, it is kind of in the wedge. It's just north of 270 in Illinois and right along I-55 in Illinois. That's the most intense part of the storm. And again, really focused on Edwardsville now more than any other place, as it continues to slide off to the east-northeast. This thing is booking. It's moving at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. Highway 4, you're going to be in this here pretty soon, too, which kind of runs parallel to 55.
Yeah, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado over Edwardsville just a few minutes ago. And the National Weather Service says that it's moving. So do you anticipate that at 3:15, just a few minutes from now, when the tornado warning for Madison County is scheduled to expire, that we'll see an extension or a new one go up?
I think we may see a little bit of an extension and push it to the east a little bit as we get into portions of Clinton and Bond County. Again, the cell itself looks like it has lost a little intensity, but it's still really wrapped up. It's a tight little cell. And so I'm thinking that they're probably, right now, the warning covers where it is going. It's coming across 55 right now, pushing towards Highway 4 in Illinois. So the existing warning is good. But again, as you mentioned, there's only a few minutes left on the fact. There's only a couple of minutes left on that. And just got the latest scan as I've been looking at the intensity. And this is really good news. The latest scan, really, I'm not looking at the rainfall associated with it. I'm looking at winds in the system, and it has lost. It's right over 55. It has lost a lot of punch, but a little offshoot of that is pushing towards Marine right now in Illinois. So to answer the question, I think the existing warning is good. Will it be extended or pushed? I'm not sure of that at this stage of the game, because I think that cell may have just run its course, maybe outrunning the real supply of conditions that it needs to keep it going. So we'll keep an eye on that, obviously. And again, let's focus that all the other severe activity, tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, are to the south of 44, to the west of 55. It's kind of around Bonne Terre, Park Hills, Farmington, down through Fredericktown, down to Piedmont. That is still a prime zone for action here over the next several hours, and that is going to continue to bubble here at least until 6 o'clock, maybe 7 o'clock St. Louis time. So it's not done yet, but as far as Metro St. Louis is concerned, I think we're starting to ease a little bit. Still going to rain for a while. Still going to have some thunder and lightning associated with this thing. Could even have a little pea-sized hail. But the real intense part of this thing appears to be falling apart slowly on the eastern side of Madison County in Illinois.
And Dave, let's go to the phone line. We've got Amy Markscore with us. Amy, where are you? What are you seeing?
Michael, I'm right on Wydown Boulevard at Wydown and Hanley. I don't know what went through here. I don't know if something touched down, but massive are uprooted. They've closed Wydown now because so many giant trees are across the road, across the yards in front of apartment buildings. Right now, it looks like things are okay and intact, but massive uprooted trees that they're police have now blocked off Wydown Boulevard in Clayton.
Yeah, Amy, the National Weather Service says that in Clayton, they've got a large tree that's gone down into power lines. And we'll get into this in just a moment, but Ameren's saying 91,000 are without electricity on the Missouri side of the river. So we can certainly tell why. But you mentioned that, and Dave, jump in here as well. You mentioned that it looks like the trees are uprooted, not cut or branches blown off, but it looks like they have been pulled out of the ground.
Yes. So one tree in front of me looks like it got sawed in half, but another tree a bit further down, all the branches, all of the tree is intact. It has been like completely pulled out of the ground, the entire root system exposed. There's a giant hole in the ground. I've got some pictures. I can't get them to go through. There's multiple trees like that where they look uprooted. And Dave, you might be able to tell me what I felt, but I was listening to KMOX. I had the TV on, and it's St. Louis, it's bad weather, waiting for it to pass. And suddenly when they said they thought maybe there was some rotation near Olivet, the sky got dark and my ears popped so bad. And it was when my head felt like it was going to explode that I ran down to the basement of my building. It was very dark. It got very dark and very loud. And I was in my basement, and then it was over in a couple of minutes. But my ears still feel like I was in an airplane. right.
Whether there was a funnel or not, but the area of low pressure associated with a possible funnel or a possible tornado, it was right on top of you, and that's what caused that effect on your ears and your head. You were in a very intense pressure drop for a short period of time. So the circulation, though it may not have been on the ground, went right over you. Sometimes if you're outside and that happens, which is not a good thing, I've been there kind of on purpose, but you'll actually feel a whoosh and the sucking motion as that pressure drop happens. Not a great place to be.
Yeah, Amy, I don't know if Amy can hear Dave. Amy, he just said it was right on top of you. Amy, you're still there? Okay, I think we've lost Amy Markscore's, but that's some great information from on the ground in Clayton, both her experience as the cell was moving through, but then also that observation about the trees and the damage, Dave.
Oh yeah, there's no question that how much damage we're going to see. That's going to take some time. One of my weather watchers out in Chesterfield says the sun is now out, and they had a lot of tree damage, trees down, blocking some roads. And again, it's just as quick as these things move. And again, at 40 miles per hour, it doesn't take long. It doesn't take much to get high damaging winds. Just doesn't take much at all. It's just something that happens. I'm seeing some collection of hail now from photos coming in. It's not covering the ground, but it's got some. It's kind of like a dusting of snow more than anything else. And I would say I've just got a picture of hailstones in Chesterfield. This is from earlier. Looks like they were about quarter size or so.
And I want to jump into Studio B. Rachel and Kevin, anybody else who was in there, I could see kind of from a distance here through the windows how dark it got, but also the whipping of those tree branches. Can you kind of catch us up on what you were observing just outside the building here now as it begins to get light again?
Absolutely, Michael. Trees were going, as you said. Wheels pointed out that the grass was
even the grass was blowing, Michael. It was almost like when it's short like that, the wind bursts were blowing. We saw people running down the street. One guy's shirt was starting to blow off. It was really nuts. There was a trash can blowing down the street. Right over here by the War Memorial. It was crazy.
And then we have Alvin Reed with us. Alvin drove past the city stadium on his way down. Alvin, tell us what you saw.
Oh, the definite green sky was above the stadium. That usually gets my attention. And they've got barricades up for, I don't know if it's 5K coming up or some event where either begins or ends at the stadium. They're all up and down Market Street, and a lot of those were just tossed.
They were down,
asunder. Yeah,
that's pretty strong wind because those are
pretty
heavy.
Very strong wind. And I also saw a dumpster turned over. So yeah, it blew through downtown.
Which you guys talked about it, Michael. That's really rare down in the city.
Yeah, it really is. We've got Amy Markscore's back with us, by the way. As you can imagine, cell service. She mentioned her data not necessarily going through with some of those photos. But Amy, I don't know if you heard Dave Murray say, but as you described what you were feeling, that change in pressure, he said it passed right over you.
Oh my gosh, Michael, it's the Midwest. You know how you're like, whatever, go downstairs. Again, it happened so fast. It was completely still outside my window. And as soon as on television, they said, all right, it's Olivet. See that's Hanley Road. And it got very windy, incredibly dark. And my ears, it started to feel like my head was going to explode. And then it just sounded like a freight train ran downstairs, ran in the basement. And it was so loud and deep. I have never heard anything like that.
Is there power in the area where you are?
No, everyone's out of power. A lot of alarms going off right now. So apologize for that. All of the apartment buildings, the homes, and the businesses, we're talking this is where Protzel's is. This is where Box Hill Grocer and some different restaurants, they're all out. People are really coming out of their apartments, assessing the damage, putting on work gloves, trying to move things out what they can. Some of the trees, like I mentioned, are so big that people, at least their cars, are going to be stuck for a while. Police are driving back and forth on Wydown, trying to clear whatever traffic was stuck there. So people are driving on the wrong side of the road. They're driving over medians to get out of the way and just to help people who might be trapped or in a bad position. But for the most part, people are now walking around, the sun is shining, and they're just assessing damage. That just happened so quickly.
Any damage that you can see to buildings or homes or apartment buildings, or is it pretty much trees that we're talking about?
You know, right now it's trees. Some major trees fell, and it looks like maybe a couple of them are leaning against buildings. I don't see anything collapsed. I don't see any roofs, any windows blown out at all, which is interesting. It looks like a hand reached down and grabbed these giant trees by the roots and lifted them out of the ground, like just gaping holes. And these trees must be over 100 years old. They're massive, Michael. It blows my mind to think they were just pulled out of the ground intact.
Wow. Well, Amy, I can tell you that when we first started talking, it was 90K without power in Missouri. Now, Ameren, then it went up to 91, 93. Now it's 94,483 Ameren, Missouri customers without power. I imagine you would tell us that the traffic lights they're not even on flash. I'm sure they're probably dark. So should remind people to treat those as a four-way stop. Amy, any other observations? Anything else you want to pass along?
You know, it's really weird how spotty it is in the sense that it looks like believe it or not, it looks like the Hanley and Wydown traffic lights are working, but they have cops stopping everybody, turning people away from Wydown. I am going to work my way further down Wydown. All the buildings look out. Thankfully, like I said, I don't see major building damage to the buildings, but I haven't walked too far down the road right now. It's people kind of gathering their wits, seeing if there's anyone who needs help and getting to work, just assessing and clearing what damage they can.
Well, Amy, I think some good news is that we haven't heard any sirens, any ambulances behind you. You haven't talked about seeing anybody injured from this.
No, there were at the beginning, there were a ton of sirens. I think there were, again, I don't know the exact situation, so I don't want to speculate. I don't think anybody was hurt. I think they were able to extricate people from any of the situations. I know this is kind of the time when schools get out, so they wanted to be careful. So the sirens just now died down, which is good, which is a really good thing.
Amy Markscore is with us from Clayton. Thank you so much for that great report, extensive information. Thank you so much, Amy. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Michael.
Again, up to 95,000 Ameren, Missouri customers without power. Also, it's more than doubled in Illinois. Metro East, about 12,000 Ameren, Illinois customers without power. If you want to get into 314-436-7900, let us know what you're seeing. There's a traffic signal issue. 55 southbound getting off at Merrimack Bottom. Again, treat that as a four-way stop. Crash on 270 going north at Page Avenue. Pull up the cameras and see that looks like Forest Park Parkway. Dave is moving a little bit better. You know, we've been getting a little bit more into some of the damage, but there is still the tornado warning in effect until 3:45 for Madison County. That's right in Missouri.
That's a new one,
not the Madison County in Illinois.
Right. That is a kind of an extension of the warnings that kind of came through St. Louis County and Madison County in Illinois. And it's getting off to our east, but it's south of Mulberry Grove. It's around Pleasant Mound, Vernon, and Patoka and Keysport. That's kind of the center of the action right now in Illinois, and moving away very quickly. As far as St. Louis County is concerned, St. Charles County still under the tornado watch until 7, but all the action is to the south now, nothing out to the west, but the south stuff is kind of potent. It's pulling itself together. It is south of I-44, south of Sullivan, south of Rolla. It's kind of very close to Salem, though it is just to the north of Salem and Viburnum. And those are tornado warnings. There's a couple of little supercells that are still out there because the atmosphere continues to be quite juicy to our south. And I do think most of that action is going to stay to our south, but it could be as close as Festus, especially between Festus and Farmington and Fredericktown. Then you get south of Fredericktown, there are more storms down there. But southeast Missouri, southern Illinois is going to continue to rock here, at least and through 7 o'clock tonight, maybe even 8 o'clock. But I'm hoping at this stage of the game, the atmosphere cannot refire in St. Louis County, St. Louis City, and just on the east side, that things will relax here a little bit and calm down. I don't think the front is through yet, but I think it's very, very close. And as we go through the next hour or so, I think we'll start to see this tornado watch start to come down from the west and approach St. Louis. But it's all clear in Gasconade County. It's all clear in Lincoln County. It's all clear in Warren County. It's all clear in Montgomery County. Franklin County, you're still under the watch. St. Louis and St. Charles County, you're still under the watch too. But right now, it looks like the core of the action is staying just to our south.
All right. Well, it is as we approach 3:30. I think, Dave, that means that for now we can wind down our continuous coverage. Of course, we're always on alert, and we'll break in if anything develops. And just a quick power outage update. Ameren, Missouri, 95,000 without power. 10% of the population in Jefferson County without electricity. 11,000 customers without. 2,000 in St. Charles County. Close to 50,000 in St. Louis County. About 10% of St. Louis County without electricity. St. Louis City, about 20% without power. 33,944. Of course, we'll continue to follow the weather break in. If there's any other emergency situation you need to know about, updates every 30 minutes. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app. The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Success is picking up extra shifts for your family. Now you want to be the boss. Success is getting your foot in the door. Now you want to take the next step. Success looks different to everyone, and University of Maryland Global Campus can help you reach your goals. And there's never been a better time to get started on your future. Apply now and save with no application fee. As an accredited state university, UMGC has been transforming lives for over 75 years. With more than 135 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates, online and hybrid courses, personalized support, financial resources, and lifetime career services. Achieving your dreams is more possible than ever before. Choose the program that's right for your career goals and get started on your next success. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Dave Murray's weather is brought to you by FanDuel Sports Network, with more ways to watch your Cards this season. Cardinals fans, new this season, you can subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals. And right now, new subscribers can get a 30-day free trial with the code CARDS30day. Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com to sign up.
Back in on Friday on DGS. Man, Dave Murray's joining us. Dave, that was something, man. It came through fast and powerful, and we're now starting to see some of the videos, some of the images of the damage done right there near where Amy was. It's crazy.
It is crazy that a lot of hail, a lot of wind damage, a lot of tree damage, stuff like that. We were at 88 degrees before this storm moved in. We're at 65 right now.
Wow.
However, the winds are still from the south. The cool front, that is the trigger for this, has not come through St. Louis. So even though we're in pretty good shape in Metro St. Louis, we're not completely out of the woods yet. In fact, just in the last 3 minutes, a new non-severe thunderstorm has popped up just to the south of St. Louis City, around Oakville, pushing towards Dupont, and very close to Centerville at this point, north of Columbia. But that just shows you that the atmosphere is still kind of wound up a little bit, even though it should have neutralized a bit. But the front's not through yet. That's telling me that the atmosphere still has a little bit of action associated with it. The real strong stuff right now is well off to our east. It is primarily pushing really almost to Patoka, St. Peter's. This is all in Illinois, Vandalia. That was the cell that came right through St. Louis County and St. Louis City. That was the tornado one, and it still has a tornado warning on it. There is also a very strong thunderstorm to the south around Nashville in Illinois, around Plum Hill, and then you go way to the south, but still close enough to be concerned. We have new thunderstorms developing, and they are tornadic to the south of Steelville, to the south of I-44. They're pretty close to Viburnum. They're pretty close to Potosi, close to Irondale, close to Bonne Terre, Park Hills, Farmington, and those storms should stay to the south of the Metro St. Louis area. So got my fingers crossed that we're almost out of the woods, but we could still see a thunderstorm pop up very quickly that will have downpours of rain, some thunder, some lightning with it. But for the most part, I think we're all clear in Montgomery County, Gasconade County, Franklin County, Warren County. I'll even include most of St. Charles County and most of Lincoln County. I think we're in pretty good shape there. The tornado watch is still in effect, but that is getting shaved away. It's still in effect for Franklin County, St. Charles, and St. Louis County. But that's going to get shaved away here slowly. But because the atmosphere is still a little prime, we've got to give it a little time to make sure the juice gets out of this thing. Once the front comes through, and that will happen this evening, we're setting up for a pretty good weekend. Sunny, breezy. It's cooler tomorrow. Not cooler than where we are right now, but that's rain-cooled air. 78 for the high on Saturday. Should be a very pretty day. 59 Saturday night. Sunday, partly sunny, near 80 degrees. But we have more showers and thunderstorms coming in here fairly quickly Sunday night and into Monday. 81 for the high on Monday. So we have a couple of days where things are quiet and then things get unsettled once again, getting into next week. It's springtime. It's May. That's what we have to expect.
David, got hairy downtown,
yes.
Which is not all that common to get as crazy as it did. It didn't last super long. We had that one. Do you remember the one in, was it late 06 that kind of hit Busch Stadium that was really wild?
Trash can. We lovingly refer that to the trash can storm.
Yeah.
Because that was all the video you saw of trash cans
sliding across the
through
concourse.
Busch Stadium.
Yeah. How common is that? Because I heard you and Michael talking about the differences when things like this are going over a large metropolitan area. You mentioned that it's drier and it doesn't seem to have the fuel to keep it going. So is that pretty rare for that?
Nine times out of 10, this stuff does not happen in the heart of St. Louis. With that said, some of the worst tornadoes that we've ever had in St. Louis have been in St. Louis. You go back to 27, you go back to the 50s, some real wicked stuff there. And primarily because this cool front has not come through yet. Typically, when a cold front is coming through, the storms kind of relax a little bit in the city environment. This front, in fact, I can find the front right now. It is on the radar. It is pushing towards Ellsbury, Troy, and Warrenton down to about Herman. That's where the cold front is right now. So the faster we can get this through, that's good. But when the front is almost on top of us, that's when storms tend to fall apart in the St. Louis area. When the front is well off to the west-northwest and you get storms that form in the juicy atmosphere, that's when we can see the bad stuff in the immediate St. Louis area. That's what happened today.
So again, just to repeat for everybody, still a little bit to be keeping an eye on, but probably not too terrible the rest of the afternoon.
I think we're in pretty good shape unless you live a good 70 miles to the south or a good 80 miles to the east. But, St. Louis City, St. Louis County, portions of Jefferson County, portions of Monroe County, St. Clair County could see a thunderstorm, but I don't think it will go severe. And I do think that the tornado watch, which has been up all afternoon long, will start to release itself as we go through the next hour or so as far as St. Louis City and county is concerned.
All right. Sounds like we have it covered. Why don't we hit a few headlines, Rach?
Yeah, I'll do a couple headlines, and then we'll get some traffic information from Roger, because I know it's crazy out there right now. Sure, that's going to be messed up, yeah. A 2-year-old boy, Headlines is brought to you by Schnucks. Reward yourself daily with the Schnucks Rewards app. A 2-year-old boy survived a 15-story fall from a apartment building in Maryland and suffered only a broken arm and other minor injuries. First responders took the child to the hospital. The child was described as awake and alert, but thank God that's all that happened. You love to hear a story like that where that could have gone way, way, way worse.
Man.
Kind of miraculous, actually. Yeah. Let's see. Americans' optimism about the economy is at a near record low. Consumer sentiment fell in May for the 5th consecutive month. This is the lowest level since June of 2022. Concerns about the trade war and rising inflation are weighing on Americans. The University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Index drops 2.7%, with sentiment declining nearly 30% since January.
I wonder how much the sentiment changes, how quickly it changes now compared to, say, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Because with everything, we have more info. We have it all faster. We're seeing it all every day. I wonder if they account for that in their numbers, if they kind of weight it to kind of see if it's similar. Although I'm not really talking about the percentage, like the confidence, but more how quickly it changes. I wonder if that's faster than it used to be.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. Here's another Pretty inspirational story here. A stray cat made a 2.7-mile journey back home after escaping a shelter. So a cat named George made a daring escape from a veterinary clinic after a neutering appointment. George was under the influence of anesthesia, but somehow managed to break out of his cage and evade staff members to flee into the woods. He somehow found his way back to his owner's home nearly 3 miles away. Experts say cats have a natural ability to navigate back to familiar territory using their scent, visual markers.
Did he get out before the operation?
No, he was. This is post-op.
This is post-op.
Okay. Did he have the cone of shame?
I don't know if they give that to cats. I'm not sure.
I got to tell you, I'm always impressed by that, where, you'll see a dog gets lost or whatever, and he comes back like 3 days later. There was a couple of them where it's like a dog came back like months later and it's like right back to his front door.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Let's do one more story. And then, like I said, we'll get to traffic and see what's going on the roads out there. Singer Chris Brown has been charged over a bottle attack at a London nightclub. Charged today with grievous bodily harm. The 36-year-old singer is accused of using a bottle to harm a music producer during a night out at a club in London. He was arrested at a hotel in Manchester and remained in custody after his court appearance. He'll appear in court again on June 13th. How many chances is this guy going to get before
Should be none.
the public is just done with him?
What just sucks too is guys like that also have people around them like protecting them.
Mm-hmm.
Like what he needs is to get his ass kicked for hitting people and for attacking people like that. But he's always got bodyguards around, so nobody's going to mess with him. And he should probably go to jail, like for real prison, like go to jail for a while.
All right. Thank you so much, Dave.
You got it.
Whew.
He's right.
I didn't even do any of that weather stuff, but I'm out of breath. Thank you, Dave.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, you got some issues out there as you head out the door, so just be prepared and pay attention as you're driving around the area because we do have traffic backed up. We got some signal problems in certain areas, so just be advised of that. I know that Telegraph at Jaeger and also the signals at 30 and High Ridge Boulevard are out because traffic's really jammed in the area there, so just be advised of that. And that's going to make it difficult to get around. I mean, there's backups there already. This traffic report, by the way, is a service of Metro Transit. On the highways, it got some crashes. Eastbound 70 before Earth City, there's a crash in the right lane. They cleared one at the airport. There's backed up traffic both ways on 70 around Kings Highway. Eastbound, it goes through O'Fallon Park. Westbound out of the city limits are working to crash. Westbound 64 before Ballas in the right lanes. Traffic's backed up at about Lindbergh. Eastbound 64 backs up at Lindbergh all the way in through the Interbelt. The Interbelt jam southbound, south of Olive down to Brentwood. After that, it's not as bad. Highway N between K and Bryan is blocked because of multiple lines down from storm damage there. Southbound 270 slow stuff from south of Page to Ladue, 64 down to 44 slow. Southbound 55 is a little busy at Bates. The south side not as bad. Westbound 364, we had an incident before Bryan Road. It's jammed to K. Westbound 64, Kings Highway out through the Interbelt is slow. It's slow again. The west half of the valley out to the Boone Bridge. And again, west of Winghaven, stop and go pockets out to 70. 70 in the Westplex from T.R. Hughes to Bryan Road and Lake St. Louis out past 61. Some congestion running through there as well. Eastbound 5570 jams Black Lane through 157 because of an incident. Overturned crash northbound 255 at Gateway Commerce Center Drive. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com.
By Metro Transit.
We are Metro Transit. We don't just help ourselves and our neighbors get where we need to be. We help our whole region get where we want to be. Get on board at rideonmetro.org.
Another RX Watch, brought to you by Onder Law.
Welcome back to RX Watch. This alert is disturbing.
Right. A while back, we learned that companies like Johnson & Johnson use a mineral called talc in baby powder and other products.
And studies show that talc, when used for feminine hygiene, can cause ovarian cancer.
Now listen to this. RX Watch has learned that the talc they use is being mined in China.
Right, and talc mined in China contains heavy metal contaminants like chromium and magnesium, which are known to cause cancer. But China doesn't care.
So China gets the jobs and we get contaminated talc in our baby powder.
And ovarian cancer.
Right. With their specialized tests, the medical team at Onder Law can help you know if your ovarian cancer was caused by talc.
Onder Law has helped women for years with free and confidential consultation. You need to call Onder Law's pharma attorneys at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
Call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
That's 1-800-RX-WATCH or go to rxwatch.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Setting goals for retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, tune into the All Financial Hour with host Steve All, Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX. You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. With 56 million winning tickets last year, anyone can win big. So set your destination to winning, like gas stations, grocery stores, or anywhere you can buy a ticket. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
When we started Neovitin back in 2009, we wanted to create a multivitamin that we would take ourselves. That's why we use quality ingredients in our Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin. With over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our physician-formulated proprietary blend, you can be sure you are getting the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin a try for yourself. Find it at your local Schnucks, Deerbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
All right, it's DGS on a Friday. Dave in Chicago watching the Cubs and White Sox. I think that game's just about over. And then he and Nick, of course, will be doing that again tomorrow, hanging out up there. The game's in the 8th inning, and the Cubs are winning 10-3. Yeah, the White Sox are terrible, and the Cubs are not terrible. So getting the outcome there that you would have expected. I don't know if I didn't send it to you or show it to you. I showed it to Alvin while you were running the board during the weather. There's a picture now of it's like 5 White Sox fans in the bleachers at Wrigley Field, all wearing the Pope outfit.
Oh my gosh!
They got the Pope hats and the robes and everything, and they got a White Sox. I think they might have White Sox logo like on the hat. That's pretty great.
That's fun. Well, shout out to Alvin for coming down.
Yeah.
I feel bad that we didn't get
Bummer.
to his segment, but the weather had other plans. The weather also had other plans for our buddy George Mahey. He was supposed to be here at 4, but the traffic is just too bad. Yeah. He's sending me pictures from Forest Park right now. It looks like a war zone. It's crazy. Trees down all over the place. It looks like a terrible situation. And thank you again to Amy Marks Kors for calling in and sharing her report.
Yeah.
That was really great information.
Turns
to
out,
have.
I think we saw some video on TV of the area where she was.
Yes.
It's pretty crazy.
Very, very scary stuff. Glad
Traffic
Amy's okay.
light down in the intersection, like the full arm bar that hangs over the road. Trees down. It's crazy, man. And it was Sue, the second half of Sue's hour blown out, Bernie, Alvin, now George. The storm took out all our guests. But I'll say this. Just like earlier, we were mentioning that our newsroom won 4 Murrow Awards, all kinds of great important ones, including for overall news coverage. And then we go right into like that breaking news storm mode.
Mm-hmm.
Not long. I mean, I doubt there was no connection. We knew the weather was coming. Like, it wasn't like, oh, guess what happened? The gods are saying, here you go. But they're just so good at that.
Absolutely.
And then when you have somebody like Dave Murray, who's just there and you're walking you through everything, and you have the ability to cut to, Amy on the street who's doing things, and we're getting messages from people that are listening. And I know you all know this by now if you're hearing us, because you're hearing us either on 11:20 a.m. or you're on a stream somewhere on the Odyssey app, or joining us on the stream on YouTube, Facebook, whatever. But the FM signal got hit by the weather, it sounds like. So I don't know if it's still down, but it was down at least for a bit. And if it is still down, it'll be back. It just takes time to regain control over things when the weather knocks that out, which is why that 1120 is never going anywhere.
Absolutely.
That booming 50,000 watts is never going anywhere. So just keep that on the back of your mind. If you're listening to us now, you know that because you're there.
Yeah. And
otherwise, you're not hearing us.
Wheels, you bring up a great point. Now is a great time to bring up. We do have the stream. We have the Odyssey app. If you're ever in an area where you're just not getting any radio signal, the Odyssey app is going to come through your internet provider. So that's going to be crystal clear every time you listen. We also have this stream going on the Dave Glover Show Facebook page and on YouTube. Just search Dave Glover Show 2000 on YouTube. And you can watch us from there. We had several people in the chat saying like, yeah, I can't. This is the only place I'm able to get weather coverage right now. So we appreciate all you guys.
Yeah. And, I think people know by now, but when there is bad weather, we'll be on top of it. And if it pops up again today or any other time, this is literally what we do. And that, that importance is really only recognized when it's happening, like you kind of know, like having that comfort of knowing where do you go, where are you going to find the information that you need and see how long is it going to last? Because this stuff came, Alvin was telling us when he was in here, he's like, he didn't know this stuff was coming. He was just driving in and apparently he was ahead of it a little bit. And it was right after he got here that it started to really cause problems closer in towards the city. But there are a lot of people driving around day to day. I don't drive around taking a look at what the weather's going to be every hour and a half, whatever. I might see in the morning, maybe have some rain today. Like, that's about it. I think most people are kind of the same way in that regard. You're not tracking it hour by hour. Maybe you'll catch one of Dave's weather updates, in a newscast or whatever, and that'll give you your idea for the day. But it's important. And obviously, we'll be doing that throughout the rest of the day as we go through it. We will have Cardinals baseball. That's coming up later on. They are not in town. They're in Kansas City. It's going to be a good matchup. So Matt Pauly is going to join us in about 45 minutes. We'll just hang out. We'll do a little baseball with him there, maybe some other stuff. We'll talk baseball in the Redbird Rush Hour, which will be 5 o'clock until about 5:40. And that's when we're going to get ready for pregame because it's a 6:40 start time in Kansas City. So Cardinals and the Royals for the I-70 series today, starting today. And it should be a good series because they're both playing well. The Royals have cooled down a little bit, but they've been one of the better teams in the American League. They had a good long run, kind of like the one the Cardinals are on now that has slowed a little bit here. I think they've lost 4 of their last 5, but before that they were red hot, and they're one of the better pitching teams out there. So we'll take a look at that series in a little bit more detail later on. And, of course, continue on with our regular business as usual as we go through. It's DGS on a Friday here on KMOX.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I've been asked many times how Morgan & Morgan became the largest injury firm in the world. I think I know. When someone comes to us for an on-the-job injury, we have a huge workers' compensation practice. But many times we find a defective product that was responsible for that injury. Luckily for them, we have a product liability section headed by my son, Mike. In addition to the comp case, there's a product case too. Other times, the injured worker is fired or harassed for bringing that claim. We have them covered. Our employment lawyers handle retaliation claims as well as wage theft and discrimination cases, and in some cases need to file for Social Security benefits. No problem. We became big for a reason. 30% of our new cases come as referrals from former clients. Hiring us is easy. Go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer, or call #law on your cell, #529. Morgan & Morgan, Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates. You know, the doctors, or just the best doctors to see for your best vision in St. Louis. 314-966-5000, the doctors. They've treated more than 250 doctors. That's more than any other practice. Dr. Greg Birdie, Dr. Ranjan Malhotra, Dr. Robert Bersati, Dr. Andy Royer. 314-966-5000 is their phone number. 314-966-5000. Dr. Birdie, Dr. Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye, dry eye, allergy eye, cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, LASIK surgery. The Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates, experts. Call for an appointment today, 314-966-5000, or visit them online, youridoc.com, 12990 Manchester Road, quarter mile west of 270. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this important announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-384-7878, 800-384-7878, 800-384-7878.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times. We haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, traffic's heavily a mess because of storm damage. Like our own Sean Malone was out on the Forest Park Parkway, and you heard from maybe Mark Scores earlier. The parkway's basically closed. West of Kings Highway, Union to Bolivar areas where it's shut down, so the parkway's jammed. The Skinker's jammed down to 64. Big Ben's jammed in the Clayton area. Just a mess on some of these side streets. Obviously, Highway N between K and Bryan Road, we had restrictions. It was shut down due to down power lines. Eastbound 70 backed up from Kings Highway all the way through to about Adelaide. Westbound from Kings Highway, head out through Jennings Station is jammed. Westbound 64 from Kings Highway running all the way out to Hanley. Slow eastbound from Spady all the way to the Interbelt. The Interbelt bogs down at Olive. Northbound 270, we had a crash south of 70. Traffic backed up through Dorset. South 270, Ladue down through Manchester. That's the only slowdown. In St. Charles County, westbound 364, K to Bryan Roads backed up. Westbound 64 jams at 364 to Prospect. For the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Winner of 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards, including overall excellence. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 4 o'clock. We've got windy conditions. It is 78 degrees downtown at the Arch. And as we're covering the latest when it comes to severe weather and the effects that it's had on our region, we'll get to the damage in just a moment. But first, a live read on the current situation for KMOX meteorologist Dave Murray. Dave?
Yeah, things are looking better and better. There's still a small thunderstorm, non-severe in Illinois around Troy and Maryville, down to about Trenton and pushing towards St. Jacob. I do not anticipate that to get strong or severe. Otherwise, any real severe weather is well off to our east now in basically east of Vandalia, east of Salem, and moving away very quickly, are well to the south of Festus, kind of really focused on Bonne Terre, Park Hills, over to St. Genevieve and Steelville and Sparta in Illinois. That stuff should stay south of St. Louis. The cool front that is coming through right now is across portions of Lincoln and Warren County and just pushing into the northwest corner of Franklin County. So folks who live there, you may feel a little wind gust and a wind shift to the west-northwest. That will be sweeping across St. Charles, St. Louis City here in the next hour and a half or so. And that will definitely end everything and clear everything out. So we will be in good shape. The tornado watch remains in effect for Franklin, St. Louis City, and St. Charles County. But I think that will get dropped very quickly, and we are headed to a pretty nice weekend, but we kind of deserve it after that Friday afternoon. Michael?
Thank you very much, meteorologist Dave Murray. Let's continue our coverage now with the aftermath. KMOX's Sean Malone has been out. And Sean, where are you and what are you seeing? All right, we'll check in with Sean in just a bit. Large trees are down in the central West End. Fox 2's Chris Higgins reports from the Upper Muni parking lot in Forest Park.
Their tents and their tables and such are strewn throughout the parking lot over here. So I'm coming through the trees. In fact, now as I look at it, I can see a couple of overturned golf carts.
KMOX's Amy Marks-Kors describes the scene at Hanley and Wydown in Clayton.
One tree in front of me looks like it got sawed in half, but another tree a bit further down, all the branches, all of the tree is intact. It has been like completely pulled out of the ground, the entire root system exposed. There's a giant hole in the ground.
And let's take you back now to KMOX's Sean Malone. Sean, where are you and what are you seeing right now?
Sustained some damage. Just getting here was a bit of a challenge because of all the damage that was caused by the storm that blew through. Not just tree branches blown into roadways, but whole trees uprooted. And even in some cases, you could see the tree trunks snapped and broken in half and splintered. Now, at the Jewel Box, there's a lot of damage to the glass of the Jewel Box, and right now crews are on hand trying to sweep up some of that glass, but it seems like Forest Park has sustained quite a lot of damage from this storm that blew through. In Forest Park, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
And Sean, just before you go, the Jewel Box is a St. Louis icon. How much of the glass has been broken there?
It's not that it's completely barren. I'm looking at one side of it right now, and there's certainly a number of panels that are out. If I had to just throw a number out there, maybe somewhere between 5 and 10% of the panels. But the more I look, the more I spot. So it certainly could be a little bit higher than that. But I'm not going to go out there and say that there's glass completely surrounding the building. But certainly there are a number of panels that are out.
All right, KMOX's Sean Malone at Forest Park at the Jewel Box. Thank you, Sean. Several Annie Malone staff members had to take shelter in the basement of the building. The voice you're about to hear is CEO Keisha Lee.
So we're in the basement of Annie Malone. We had to run down because the windows started busting upstairs. Oh, my God. We have no power.
The Annie Malone Parade is scheduled to take place Sunday at 1. There's extensive damage at the St. Louis Zoo, and the institution says they are closed today and tomorrow. Latest from Ameren shows 98,418 customers out in Missouri. Almost 100,000 customers do not have power in Missouri. 25,465 without electricity in Illinois. To break that down per part of the region, that's about 50,000 without power in St. Louis County, 37,000 in the city of St. Louis. That's a big percentage of the city. And about 12,000 without power in Jefferson County. Situation much better. Those numbers are much lower in St. Charles County. The Dow from Stifel today up 331 points to 42,654.
Rumbling skies possible between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. as we go through our Friday afternoon. Partly sunny, windy, and warm. Some of these storms could quickly go strong to severe. The main zone of severe weather is going to be just off to our south. Southeast Missouri, southern Illinois, especially along and south of a line from Rolla to DeSoto to Redbud, Nashville, and Mount Vernon. But we are going to be very close here in the metro area. So let's keep a close eye on that sky, as I will. Tonight, clear skies. It's gone. It's windy, 59. The weekend looks great. Saturday, sunny, breezy, and cooler, 78. Sunday, partly sunny and 80. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
At the moment, we've got wind. It is 78 degrees downtown at the Arch, and those winds are out of the southwest at 17, gusting up to 36 miles per hour. The news is sponsored by Parties on the Plaza at Westport Plaza. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Well, it's been a wild Friday on DGS.
Oh, understatement, Wheels.
Dave is out in Chicago at a ball game, and then obviously Andrew's in LA, and we've mostly been in storm mode for the last hour and a half. It was around 2:30 that it kind of kicked off, and really up until we talked to Dave just after 3:30. So it was basically an hour of storm coverage, and it was crazy. And now we're seeing a lot of the after effects. So if you're looking to just see more, find out more, if you go on Twitter, our own Sean Malone is on there at SMalone27. And then Amy Markscores has a couple of tweets up there as well, where like she described it, but seeing it is even crazier. There's a whole grown giant tree that is laying on the lawn, pulled up roots and all.
Yeah.
And then we're seeing other reports from all over town. But I mean, the ones I saw from Sean were like Forest Park Avenue is not passable at a certain point. Certainly a lot of things. So keep an eye on social media to see if you're in an area where that may be a problem. George Mahey was letting us know that his neighborhood was a problem. And of course, we'll be tracking it and passing it along. So you'll hear it in our weather updates, which will be, of course, bottom of the hour, top of the hour news, and in all of the traffic hits that we do with Captain Roger Brand when if these things are branching out and causing bigger problems as we get into the afternoon rush. Clearly, that's what we'll be on top of throughout the rest of the afternoon. And according to Dave Murray, probably past the worst of it for the St. Louis metropolitan area. Said a lot of bad stuff may still pop up 60, 70, 75 miles south of here. So if you're hearing us at that distance, keep an eye on it because it's clearly going to be a bit of an issue. Also got a report from Matt Pauley that the FM signal has come back.
Excellent.
So if you switched over from 104.1 to 1120 because 104.1 got hit by the storm, it was just right in the middle of all of the stuff that came through. It should be back now, according to what Matt texted me, and he'll be joining us here in a little bit. And as of now, we'll be continuing to, proceed as usual and get ready for Cardinals baseball. So about an hour and a half from now, we'll be getting to Cardinals pregame. And of course, Matt will join us at 4:30. I don't think we're going to do all baseball with Matt there because we're going to do the Redbird Rush Hour where he and I will do all baseball. So we'll keep you from being too bored, Rach.
Okay. Isn't it crazy? We lucked out here downtown. We're not dealing with nearly the destruction that they're seeing like in Forest Park, for example.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, but if you look out the window now, it's like nothing ever happened down here. They even picked up that trash can that we saw blowing down the sidewalk. That's been put back into place. So it's just crazy how quickly this stuff can happen.
Matt's listening. He said it seems like it's going in and out now on the 104.1 side. So it's and then Ben Boyd, our buddy, texted. He sent a message, said it's kind of going in and out, staticky. So they're working on it. Just so you know, they're working on getting that settled, which is why 1120 is never going anywhere. We're always going to have that as our, especially, when you think about the reach of it going down south to where these storms may hit again, 70 miles, 75 miles further south. So always going to be on top of it for you as we go through these wild storms. And it's been a ridiculous spring.
Oh, yeah.
Like the sheer amount of rain. I know it wasn't April a record. I think Dave mentioned that maybe a week or two ago as we finished up April and got into May. And May hasn't been a whole lot better. It's been just nonstop. Not like this. We haven't had too many of these kinds of things. But it's just nonstop rain here, rain there. It's funny. We've been joking about it with the boys. With the boys I coach. I've missed all but like 3 games because every time I'm supposed to be there, it rains.
Wow.
We get rained out. Like it's been just crazy like that. There's one thing I couldn't make. I couldn't make an out-of-town trip. And other than that, I think 3 games have been played on weekends since then.
Crazy.
Because of all the rain and cancellations and things along those lines. So hopefully for everybody, this all settles down and we can keep on moving forward. I asked Amy Markscores this earlier, Rach. I'm curious if you're seeing the same thing. This is obviously breaking away from weather conversation.
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like I'm going to be needing to take out a loan to continue buying lunch meat.
Oh, I saw you put this on the show sheet.
So I figured this out because I buy it all the time. Now there are kinds that I like there's specific versions of brands. Like I like Boar's Head. I typically get that at the Fresh Time store not too far from me. And it's usually not too bad, but lately I've been looking at it. I'm like, I think I paid $7.50 for half a pound.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
So
for half a pound.
It's like $14, $15 a pound. Now, again, I understand that's not the cheapest version. I could get cheaper turkey. But the point is, that's what you can pay. That's what you pay for a ribeye at a grocery store. Ribeyes are $15 to $18 a pound. You mean I could get a pound of ribeye for the same as a pound of just sliced deli turkey? Like, what am I missing?
You're about to have some awesome sandwiches.
Because I mean, like, I like that stuff because it's easy sandwiches. You can do different things with it. You can dress it up. You can grill it. You can, I like to bake them in the oven with, get everything all cool, hot and nice. But it's not the only thing, but that was one of the first ones that stood out to me. I know that there are ways if I want to, I can buy the cheaper stuff. That's not really the complaint. It's fascinating, though, like how one thing is going up so much, and it's to the point where it's actually now the same price per pound as a premium thing. Like a ribeye is a really nice cut of steak, right? You can get fillets $18, $20 a pound, depending on when and where. And I'm spending $15, $16 a pound on deli meat.
Now, I wonder if any of that has to do with the troubles that Boar's Head had recently.
I wonder if it's that. I mean, there are other kinds that I've bought that weren't quite that, but they're still, even some of the other ones that if I pick them up at Schnucks or Deerberg's, they're still not far from that at the similar price point. And to me, I always thought of that as kind of something that's not at that level of the quote unquote premium items.
Okay, I just Googled, why is deli meat so expensive? There is a Reddit thread from 2 years ago, and it says, why is deli meat just as expensive as good steak meat?
Wow, look at that. I'm only 2 years late to the party because I don't buy steak all the time, but when I do, it's usually to grill on a weekend and we're going to have people over or something along those lines. And I know roughly what that costs. I just don't pay attention when I'm buying turkey. I don't think of it because I'm like, oh, there's a packet. I don't go to the counter and say, give me.
Yeah, you just get it.
There's a prepackaged one that was sliced that day or whatever. I usually just grab those, throw it in there because I know I'm going to eat it. And it's like, all right, that pack is probably 3 sandwiches, whatever. I know I have a routine. And again, it's not breaking the bank. That's not the point. It's just weird. It's weird. Now that can be a bigger thing. We're 2 grown adults that don't have any kids at home. It's a different thing when it's just 2 people. No kids, you're not feeding any extra people. I can't even imagine. How are you making turkey sandwiches for your kids for school?
Yeah, you're probably buying like the budding, the cheapest possible. Now, TW on the stream says you're paying for convenience and processing, but that still doesn't explain like the jump in price.
It didn't used to be as close as it is, right? So I know that a lot of prices are going up, right? I mean, we all know that. The inflation's continued. We all know that eggs are more expensive, although they're better than they were a month ago. They're still more than they used to be. Like, I get that. It's just weird that the price of specifically deli sliced turkey has gone up to the point where it meets a ribeye.
Yeah, that is
on a price
wild.
per pound because the steak's not changed that much. Yeah, it's all of them. Everything's gone up, but not at the same rate. That's what fascinates me. And I was wondering if I haven't seen any stories in the news about bird flu hitting turkey farms or anything along those lines. Maybe that's something, maybe it's similar to why it hit eggs. But like, if you just go buy chicken, it's not that bad. If you go buy just a frozen giant turkey, I don't think it's $14 a pound.
I hope not.
But TW is right. I mean, you're paying because they're doing stuff to it, right? It's cured. It's prepared in a certain way. It's pre-sliced for you. It's and again, I'm not really complaining. I'm just more surprised that thing that is considered, would you agree? Like turkey is considered sliced turkey, sliced roast beef, whatever. That's kind of considered regular, normal food, like lunch fare. Yeah, you're not buying like a prosciutto or something that maybe might be a little more expensive. Well, I'm also not buying a steak. Yeah, exactly. Like, I can buy a 1 pound cut from a ribeye and that's a high end, that's a high quality. People really prefer a ribeye. Like that's really, if you go to a restaurant, that's going to be an expensive item.
Yeah.
If you're getting a good ribeye, and at a store, it's on the expensive side. If you're buying beef, you get that. You've got filet mignon. You've got those cuts that are going to be more expensive, and it's kind of at that level, which changes the value of it, right?
Have you heard of these people who slice their own deli meat at home to get around this issue?
Yeah, but does it work the same?
Well, they buy the slicers, and then you buy like the hunk of turkey.
You buy the whole thing from the deli, and and
then apparently it tastes great because you're slicing it fresh at home. And
they did a whole Seinfeld episode about it. I bet it is great to have that thing, but I don't know. I don't have the patience
It's definitely
to do that.
easier to just go to like the pre-made.
How much more do those slicers cost? I got to start researching now.
That's what I'll get you for Christmas, Wheels.
Oh yeah.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, obviously, things are a mess out there, especially on the secondaries. As traffic reports a service of Terrace Senior Living of Eureka. The storm damage with the signals and roads closed. You know, the city's a mess. They're talking about shutting down the ramps at 64 Kings Highway because Kings Highway is pretty much stop and go from Manchester all the way up through to the Natural Bridge area. And Page around Kings Highway is backed up all the way over to almost Kinlan. The parkway's closed between Union and DeBoliver. Skinker's jammed in that area. Delmar's jammed in that area. Big Ben's jammed north of Forsyth. So it's just a real mess. Clayton area is the focal point of some of this real bad storm damage. Westbound 64 Kings Highway out to McCausland's jammed, but it's slow all the way to Hanley. In St. Charles County, it's backed up west of Winghaven and Pockets out to Highway 70. On to northbound 61, that is backed up traffic midway up between Wentzville Parkway and Highway P. Westbound 364 is still slow from K most of the way to Bryan. We had an incident there earlier. Eastbound 64, Spady, all the way through the Interbelt. The Interbelt's bogged down at Delmar. Northbound 270 still backed up. Dorset midway up to 70 because of earlier trouble. South 270, south of Olive through Manchester is just a little busy. Southside not as bad. Gasconade Bates, westbound 44 downtown through the bridges have delays. Eastbound 5570 still jammed. West of Black Lane to 157 due to restrictions. Northbound 255 at Gateway Commerce looks like they cleared that crash. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Check out the Terrace in Eureka for affordable senior living with 24-hour nursing supervision, delicious meals, medication management, and activities. The Terrace is affordable and will work with your Medicaid plan. Go to rspseniorliving.com and look for the Terrace Private Assisted Living.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs' attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based on advertisements.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler for Supplement Superstores. Proudly, I'm raising my hand, proudly a Supplement Superstores customer for the last 13 years, and it's because they're the best. They have the best employees, which is where it starts to me. No matter what your goals are, if you're looking like I've gone through and had different things at different times, right? Sometimes I'm trying to cut a few pounds. Sometimes I'm trying to make some more gains in the gym. Whatever it is that I want, They're experts. All of the employees at Supplement Superstores are certified sports nutrition specialists and personal trainers. So they know exactly what they're doing, and they will sit down with you when you walk in. They'll greet you because they're super friendly there. They want to welcome you. They know that you're there to get results, and they're going to help you get them. But then they're going to offer to sit down with you and say, hey, what are you trying to do, and how can we help you? Can we help you with an eating plan that's easy, that will work for you? Can we help you tweak your routine a little bit? They have answers for you, and there's no charge for that, man. That's just part of being a customer at Supplement Superstores. And, of course, they always have the best products, too. They're always on the cutting edge of science, so when new products come out that are better than the old ones, you're going to find those new products. So no matter what you're looking for, you're going to get the best when you're at Supplement Superstores. So to get started down a positive path, to find your Supplement Superstores location and get out there and just get the help you want, just go to supplementsuperstores.com to start it off.
Join Lombardo Homes Saturday, May 17th for the grand opening of our newest decorated display at Autumn Hollow in Wentzville. Tour our beautifully designed display home, enjoy light appetizers on us, and experience firsthand the craftsmanship and style Lombardo Homes is known for. Current homeowners, come say hello and meet your future neighbors. Located just off Highway N, west of Hopewell Road, Autumn Hollow offers spacious home sites surrounded by natural beauty in the highly rated Wentzville School District. Visit lombardohomes.com to learn more.
You asked, we delivered. KMOX, now on FM. Crystal clear sound at 104.1 FM.
All right, it's Friday on DGS. Dave in Chicago, Andrew in Los Angeles, and Rachel and I in studio. Oh, they're not joining us. That's where they are, and we're here doing the show. Let's do a little Flashback Friday. God, I almost couldn't say flashback. That's Flashback Friday.
Back in the day, in May 16th, 159 years ago, in 1866, Congress authorized minting the nickel 5-cent piece. This was to replace the smaller silver piece known as the half dime. That just sounds silly. What were they doing?
Those old-timey people.
Half dime? Was it half the size of a dime? How did anyone keep track of this?
No idea. Much easier to just say it's a nickel.
Absolutely. And then jumping forward 100 years, 59 years ago in 1966, the Beach Boys released their album Pet Sounds with their classic hits, Wouldn't It Be Nice and God Only Knows. So you hate the Beach Boys, right?
How'd you know?
You just making an educated guess.
Where are you on the Beach Boys?
Love them. Love Pet Sounds. Such a great album.
All right.
And I remember when I would go to Raging Rivers as a little kid, they would always play a bunch of Beach Boys songs because it fits the theme and just kind of takes me back.
Does Dave like the Beach Boys?
I think so.
I can't remember. I don't think it's ever come up.
I'm not actually sure. I've never heard him
We never play it.
Yeah, we don't. That's a good point.
So I'm guessing no. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a quality thing. I mean, obviously they're beloved by so many people for a lot of reasons.
Music
it's just a little too
soft.
Yeah, but it's also what's the right word? Corny.
There's definitely a lot of
but it's
corny
also
songs.
Of its generation. So I get that. I'm just not of that generation.
Right.
I'm from the Ozzy Osbourne generation.
45 years ago, in 1980, Los Angeles Lakers rookie point guard Magic Johnson replaced the injured Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at center in Game 6 of the NBA Finals. Magic scored 42 points to carry the Lakers to the title.
Well, that's a legendary performance. And for sports fans out there, there's a great series on Netflix It's a documentary series. So I can't remember how many episodes it was, handful maybe. But it documents that Lakers and Celtics rivalry going back to when Bird and Magic were both drafted. And, of course, it includes that period of time. But that one's one of those that sports fans go back to. Like, here's this guy that, first of all, was a unicorn in that at that time as a 6'9" point guard. That just didn't exist. And then he's like, you know what? I'll just play center. Kareem's hurt. He won't be able to play. I'll just play center and go up against one of the best big men in the league. We'll be fine. And they were, and he won.
So when Magic was diagnosed with HIV, was he still playing in the NBA?
Yeah, that was a really big deal.
I bet.
It was a huge story because keeping in mind that at the time, we didn't know then about HIV and AIDS what we know now.
Yeah, like how it's transmitted.
Right. Because half the league was like, I'm not playing if he's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started to, and I really think that specific case helped educate people Because I remember thinking the same thing. I'm like, they can't let him play. What if he gets cut?
Yeah.
And then we started to learn more about, how that really goes. Because he still, to this day, does not have AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
He's HIV positive, but he has not gotten that because of the drug regimen. And, obviously he's got access to a lot of things. But that was such a massive story. And there were absolutely players that were swearing they would not take the court if he did.
44 years ago in 1981, the jam Betty Davis Eyes by Kim Carnes hit #1. I know that's one of your favorites.
Oh, yeah.
You're always humming that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
41
always.
years ago in 1984, Andy Kaufman died of lung cancer in Los Angeles.
Man, how aware are you of what he was?
I probably don't have a great grasp on what he actually was to the culture as far as just like what an effect he had.
It's just I was a kid, I was pretty young. So you said 81?
Yeah, 84.
84. So I was 13 when he died, but a lot of his weirdness and the strange persona, like doing the wrestling, and you could never tell if he was being serious or if he was in his act, if he was playing a character. But that was all when I was little, so I didn't understand it. I always thought it was super strange. But what was the Jim Carrey movie about that?
Man in the Moon.
Yeah. I did not see that, so I don't have a lot of reference there. I just remember thinking that Andy Kaufman, when as a kid, learning that Andy Kaufman was a weirdo. But he was obviously more than that.
39 years ago in 1986, Top Gun was released. You don't like Top Gun?
It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I thought the newer one was better.
I still haven't seen Maverick.
Yeah.
And we even own it. I haven't pressed play yet. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I don't know why, but it's just such cheese. I didn't like young Tom Cruise very much. Actually, that's not true. I liked Tom Cruise when he was in like The Outsiders and when he was in his early stage movies. And there was a period there where I just couldn't take him in most things because he was always just the
kind of cocky,
like bartender or flight, like, come on, man. They're just, he's trying to hit on his superior officer.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
You know what Tom Cruise movie I just watched the other night because it was free on YouTube? Minority Report.
That's good.
It was a decent movie. It hasn't necessarily aged because they're like, this is what the future will be like, and it's like, well, no, we have touch screens.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was definitely an entertaining movie.
I don't remember when it turned, like what age Tom Cruise was, but then there was a turn where maybe it was the beginning of the Mission Impossibles, where I was like, all right, yeah, he's pretty good at this whole action thing.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
The legendary Fast Eddie of Fast Eddie's Bon Air and Cardinals Hall of Famer Jason Isringhausen.
Hey, Izzy, what's going on, man? Looks kind of like you got something on your mind.
Well, Eddie boy, I'm thinking you may need to change the name of your place from Fast Eddie's to $5 Eddie.
$5 Eddie? Man, why in the world would I call it $5 Eddie?
Well, I was in there the other day and bought myself the coldest beer I've ever had in my life, and I gave the guy $5. And then I went over and got some of those huge cold water peel and eat shrimps, and I gave her $5.
Well, I never really thought about that. There's a lot of $5 going on in there.
And then I went back up and got one of those huge Fast Eddie cheeseburgers, and I gave them $5 again.
Man, definitely has a ring to it. I think there's a lot of $5 going on.
Yeah, and I had about $100 worth of good time.
Well, that's good to hear, and it's easy to do with live music 7 days a week and a big old party going on that big, beautiful outdoor patio.
Well, like Mr. Shannon always says, if you're 21 and in the mood, head on over to Fast Eddie's Bon Air in Alton, Illinois, and maybe take a selfie on that old Harley Davidson of mine.
Who else has got a Cardinal Hall of Famer's Harley Davidson sitting out on the patios for some selfies?
Only Eddie boy.
At 4:30, we've got a cloudy sky. It is 78 degrees downtown at the Arch. This news update is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. The storm that blew through St. Louis caused significant damage. Our Sean Malone is on one such scene. Sean, where are you? What do you see?
I'm in Forest Park right now, where everywhere you look, there are not just branches down in the roadways and thrown all about, but trees that have been uprooted and trunks splintered by the storm that passed through St. Louis just about an hour ago. I'm looking right now at a tree, and you can see there's the entire, whole root system pulled out of the ground along with the tree, and then right across the street from it, quite a thick tree trunk that has been absolutely splintered into multiple pieces. In Forest Park, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Traffic, as you'll hear in a moment, is backed up in many spots. Traffic lights are out all over the place. Caller Ellen tells KMOX drivers are helping to direct traffic.
There's a fella at the corner of the Bolivar headed north and the Forest Parkway, and he has gotten out and directed traffic so that we could get through that intersection, because for me, for one, I've been waiting an hour just to get there.
She says other drivers parked their cars, got out, and started working together to remove tree limbs that have fallen on the parkway. The storm blew through the central west end. The scene from Fox 2's Chris Higgins in Forest Park near the Muni.
There's probably 3 or 4 large tents here that were upended. And, of course, there are the porta potties right there. So, again, a lot of tree damage.
KMOX's Amy Marks Scores was at Hanley and Wydown and describes what she felt there.
It happened so fast. It was completely still outside my window. And as soon as, on television, they said, all right, it's Olivet. See that? That's Hanley Road. And it got very windy, incredibly dark. And my ears, it started to feel like my head was going to explode. And then it just sounded like a freight train ran downstairs, ran in the basement, and it was so loud and deep. I have never heard anything like that.
Power outages are extensive. We've got 100,000 customers out of power on the Missouri side of the river, 98,305. Illinois, the number totals 24,725, and the biggest clusters of power outages right now are St. Louis City and County. Dave Murray says a clear sky tonight with a low 59 degrees. For tomorrow, sunshine, cooler, high 78. For tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low 59. And for Sunday, we've got more clouds in the afternoon, but otherwise a sunny Sunday with the high of 80. Right now, downtown at the Arch, we've got 78 degrees. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Traffic from the michaelsflooringoutlet.com Traffic Center.
This traffic reports the service of Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. As you heard Amy and Sean out there in the city, the West End and mid-county there north of 64. There's lots of restrictions. I mean, we're talking about Natural Bridge, Page, Delmar, Kings Highway, Big Bend, Skinker. The Forest Park Parkway closed between Union and Bolivar. So it's just a mess all around. Brentwood Boulevard in the heart of Clayton all the way up north. Past Olive is tough going as well. And then the interstates aren't actually as bad as some of that. Eastbound 70 a little backed up at O'Fallon Park. Minor back up there. Westbound 70 from Highway K out to 61. It's just slow. Westbound 64 on the brakes, Boyle. So about the Tam overpass, then it's slow to Hanley. It's heavy again from 364 to 70. 364 between K and Bryan Road's heavy. We had restrictions on N between Bryan Road and K. It was closed because of multiple points where there were wires down. Eastbound 64, Lindbergh in through the inner belts heavy. South 170 bogs down at Delmar. Southbound Route 3 from the Poplar down to Monsanto's backed up. Eastbound 255 jams, Black Lane to 157. And out to the west of us, we have backed up traffic eastbound 70 from the Warrington roundabout into the Wright City rest area, and a crash on eastbound 44 as the White Lane closed near the St. Clair rest area. Traffic's jammed about midway back from St. Clair to the Sullivan area right now. I'm Roger Brand at the michaelsflooringoutlet.com Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888. Who you choose to sell your home matters. One small mistake can cost you thousands. Add Gloria Lou, your home sold guaranteed realtor, to your list at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Start your day with an edge.
Total Information AM.
It's like breakfast for your brain. I wake up, I turn on the news.
I gotta listen 3 or 4 times every day.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
I like to wake up with the news.
Total Information AM.
It's where I get my news. Traffic conditions and potential weather that's coming.
If it's gonna rain, I want to know.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9.
I like to turn it on and just get caught up.
Where I get my news. The news, weather, and traffic.
On the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Anderson is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Find out why Renewal by Anderson has the most 5-star reviews in St. Louis at rbastl.com or call 314-332-1957. rbastl.com.
Another RX Watch, brought to you by Onder Law.
There's an evil new twist in the tragic story of baby powder and its link to ovarian cancer. Recently uncovered documents reveal that talc can contain asbestos.
The same asbestos that we know causes mesothelioma.
Right, and ovarian cancer.
In the 1970s, the industry wrote its own rules, allowing Johnson & Johnson to claim that its talc was asbestos-free, as long as it contained less than 1% asbestos.
Of course, Johnson & Johnson helped write those rules. So while we're using hazmat suits to remove the asbestos from our homes, Johnson & Johnson was telling women it's safe for their bodies.
Unbelievable. So if you've used talcum powder for feminine hygiene and contracted ovarian cancer, call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
They've already won several large verdicts against Johnson & Johnson for women just like you.
Call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH. That's 1-800-RX-WATCH or go to rxwatch.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's Friday on DGS. It has been a wild one, and boy, if you're following along, KMOX News has been retweeting some of the pictures. Amy Markscores is out sending pictures and some videos in of the damage. She's in Clayton, but we're seeing it in Forest Park, Central West End. Something went through there.
Yeah.
Something went through there and uprooted a lot of trees and blew out windows on a couple of taller buildings. And Matt Pauley is in, and he's obviously you just drove through a bunch of that and saw your own.
Yeah.
Trees down, cars damaged, all of that.
So I live in Chesterfield, and just in like my subdivision neighborhood, saw multiple completely smushed cars from trees that had fallen over. One huge tree is all the way across Shetler Valley, which is kind of a big road in Chesterfield, and it's on top of a car. Nobody can get through that thing. I mean, cars are just lining up doing U-turns. I don't know what went through, but I've lived in that house for a couple of years now, and we've had some pretty tough storms, and I've never seen the amount of trees that have been uprooted the way this has been. So that was something.
I mean, we did see, funnel clouds from the sky. We did see video of things coming down. So, I mean, it seems at least possible that that's the cause of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are other wind bursts and things that can come out, and be unexpectedly high velocity winds compared to, not just a tornado, but since I'm not a meteorologist, I'm not going to guess at what it was, but it was clearly bad.
It was, so it started with hail for us, and we had a lot of hail come down, and then that ended. But the rain kept going down with the wind. It looked like it felt like I was in a hurricane, because all the wind was moving, so fast. The rain was basically going sideways. One of our planters out at our home, which we've never seen fill up with water, no matter how much rain we got.
All right.
It was all the way filled up. So it was a lot. It was
in a short amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it didn't last very long. It was about a 20-minute storm or so, but a lot happened in those 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Our power was flickering for a while. It was right when my wife was supposed to leave to go pick up our daughter from school. We live in Chesterfield. She goes to school in St. Charles. And we, with all the hail coming down, we called the school and said, gonna
be a few minutes.
Yeah, put her in aftercare or whatever it is, because we're not leaving right now.
Yeah, we'll be there a little bit late.
Yeah.
The good news was that none of it lasted super long.
Right.
But obviously it was very intense. And hopefully everybody listening's okay. I know Michael Calhoun has been reporting 98,000 people without power so far. Hopefully that won't last. But clearly pretty damaging right, just in and around the city, and really kind of that whole swath, right, coming up from the west.
Yes.
I know it hit like Wentzville, St. Peter's. There was hail there. I know it hit that area in O'Fallon, Missouri, too. And certainly the east side took the same thing because it went through here and went right through. So a lot of people in the path. Hopefully everybody's doing all right. And, of course, we'll keep on covering it as we get through the news here on KMOX. So, Matt, we're going to talk baseball in the Redbird Rush Hour.
Sure.
We'll talk Cardinals and all that. So I figured we wouldn't do that here, at least not for real. We'll just save that stuff and talk Cardinals, Royals, and the thing. But I did want to bring this up to you. Not outside of the baseball conversation, because I don't know if you follow this at all, Rach, but like this is the week that the NFL released their schedules and people lose their minds. Yeah. Like, so keep in mind, the first game won't be played for about 4 months. Mm-hmm. The schedule goes from September until the end of December. So we're looking at this 4 to 8 month window, and people are all sitting there breaking it down. What team's got the toughest schedule? Which team is going to be? What's the hardest? What are their records going to be? They're going to project records like
no game by game breakdown. Like
yes,
week 1 they're going to win. Week 2 they're going to lose, and that means their record at the end of the season.
We haven't seen a single draft pick from this past year play a down in preseason. Haven't seen him do anything. We don't know who's going to get hurt. We don't even know where Aaron Rodgers is going to play yet. And the reason I wanted to bring it up is because I think the NFL is so unique in this moment that it is by far the biggest entertainment entity in the United States.
Yeah.
Nothing's close. The movie industry is not close. No TV phenomenon is close. Football is bigger than everything. And this kind of thing proves it.
Well, it's just like you were saying a couple weeks ago, people getting together to watch the draft and just like hang out outside of a building. And
there was 100,000 people standing outside in Green Bay, or 200,000, whatever it was.
A huge number.
Just standing out there to hear names read over a microphone. Yeah. There's no game. You're just standing there hearing names and then celebrating or booing, whichever one you wanted to on that given player.
I can't imagine, because I spent a lot of time in Green Bay. I broadcast Wisconsin Green Bay basketball for years. That is not a big city by any stretch of the mind. I can't imagine what it was like trying to get out of there that night. I mean, it's bad on a Packers game day, but when you've got 2 times, 3 times as many people there.
It's in a subdivision.
Yeah.
It's just surrounded by these like 1940s and 50s houses. Yeah. That's what Lambeau is. It's in the middle of a neighborhood.
You're just driving, and then all of a sudden there's this huge NFL stadium, and then you're driving, and it's just a neighborhood again.
And people just are parking. You're just parking on people's lawns, and they're charging you to park on their lawns and in their driveways. It's a neat little thing. But the reason I wanted to bring this up for both of you guys is, can you guys think of anything else where anything like that happened? So it used to be, because things are a little different now, but like when I was a kid, probably you guys were probably a little too young for it to be, but you would stand in line to go get movie tickets before, not at the time of the movie, but to go get them for like another day. Mm-hmm. Like when the Star Wars Episode 1 came out, people were in line for a day to get tickets for a show 2 weeks later. That doesn't exist now.
No.
And the concert's the same thing. We would sleep out at the box office to get concert tickets.
I slept outside Busch Stadium many times when I was in high school to get Cardinals playoff tickets.
Are any of these things even comparable to what we're talking about with football? Like, this isn't even, like, you're not getting tickets to anything.
Yeah,
you're
just there hanging out, nerding out.
But even I'm talking about like celebrating the schedule. Like, you're just telling you when and where they're playing.
Yeah.
And we know nothing. I mean, we have a vague idea of who's good and who's not. Some of that will be wrong. Some of it will be right. Like it's a long way off. And yet it's nonstop conversation on ESPN, NFL Network, on social media.
And the videos the NFL teams put out now, they're all like 5 minutes long and they're trying to be super cute. And it's a lot.
Is there anything like in the sports world where people do just go full nerd like this that you guys are like, okay, but I get it. Like I would be out there too if it was in my hometown.
I do understand why people will go to the draft like that. I wouldn't, but I get it. Right? Because you're not just there to hear the names. You're there to drink and eat.
Socialize.
I mean, like it's like a big tailgate. Right? Because at a tailgate, you're not there to talk about the game or listen. You're just there to party before going to something. And that's what that is there. It's like a big tailgate. I get it. It's not really what I would want to do, but I totally get it.
I would not. I can't imagine. One of my favorite moments when I worked in Wisconsin was when my employer did not ask me to work the Milwaukee Bucks championship parade. Like, I just wanted no part of being around people like that.
Yeah. So I remember for the 2006 World Series and the 2011 World Series, I didn't do anything with the parades. I was because you know how it is, Matt.
Yeah.
When you're doing the pre and post game, and now in 2006 we did not have the Cardinals. They were in another place, but we were here covering them, and I had just gotten here. And I think because there were some vacation things, it was like Tom and I covered 7 days a week, and we had Sports Open Line on Saturdays and Sundays too. So I think I had worked something like 20 straight days leading up to the end of the World Series. And I was like, I'm out. As soon as the World Series is over, I'm leaving town. I'm going to go away for a week to just take a little break. And I don't like parades anyway.
Yeah.
I like celebration. I'm not a big fan of parades. I don't think I've ever gone to one and been happy about it.
Did you do the Stanley Cup parade?
Nope.
Yeah, I watched it on TV and I was like living downtown at the time and I still didn't go. I was like, I don't want to deal with that crowd.
Yeah.
I'm glad everybody's having fun. I'm so happy for the city and for the Blues, but like I'm gonna avoid that situation.
I've never done a celebratory parade for anything in my life.
Neither have I.
In fact, I don't know that I've even ever attended one outside of like a little small town 4th of July thing because it was literally right down the street near where I lived. I didn't have to leave my porch. I just went outside and looked.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, thanks to our Matt Pollard for letting me know about Shetler Road, that it's closed. That's one of the many, but just south of Logan University, so be advised that. The highways aren't terrible considering it's a Friday. Downtown eastbound 70, just a little backup around O'Fallon Park, westbound 64 Kings Highway out through McCausland, but it's slow all the way to Hanley. In St. Charles County, you're backed up approaching 364 out to 70. Westbound 364 K to Bryan Road's busy. Eastbound 64, Clayton Worsen all the way through the Interbelt. The Interbelt slow at Delmar. If you're on westbound Highway 70, it's a pretty good run. There's just some slow traffic out west, so we're talking T.R. Hughes all the way out through to about Wentzville Parkway. Eastbound 70 still backs up from the Warrenton roundabout into the Wright City Rest area and out to the west of us on eastbound 44. You still get that backup from like Stanton, so it's midway back to Sullivan into the St. Clair Rest area, and then there's a jam now westbound 44. There's a crash right as you get into St. Clair as well, so trouble both ways on 44 there. And we've been talking about all these closures and restrictions. It's a mess. North City, we're talking about Natural Bridge, Page, Vanderventer, Delmar, Brentwood Boulevard, north of Forsyth. Of course, the Parkway's closed just west of Kings Highway, Skinker, Big Bend. It's all just a real mess in Midtown because of that's the where the part of the storm hit. Southbound Route 3 backed up from the Poplar down to Monsanto. Eastbound 255 still jammed from Black Lane to 157. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They're in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley for i3 Broadband. You know, sometimes when people hear i3 Broadband, they think it's like some sort of really expensive, high-level super internet that is only good for like really rich people or people who are have businesses. Well, I've got it in my home, and none of those things would describe me, and I love i3 Broadband, and they've got some things going on from a price standpoint right now that are absolutely fantastic. You can get their introductory rate at $19.99 for a month, and you're guaranteed that rate for at least a full year. You compare that to like the cable company, you're going to save about $10 a month. I've got the 2 gig package at my home, which I really, really like. You're getting that at about $60 a month. You compare that to AT&T, you're going to save $1,640 over 2 years. Like, this is real money back in your pocket. The service is incredible. The storms we've had today, my i3 Broadband were perfectly fine. Didn't matter. Check it out for yourself. Put your address in, i3broadband.com. That's i3broadband.com. You'll love their internet service.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yield, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
It's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Give my friends at Zero Res a call today. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and tell them that Dave Glover sent you.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
Hi, I'm Andrew Suntrup. For over 30 years, St. Louis and St. Charles families have trusted Suntrup Buick GMC. As a proud family-owned dealership, we offer more than just great deals. We offer peace of mind. At Suntrup Buick GMC, you'll always find a huge selection of inventory to choose from, unmatched customer service, and every vehicle comes with our exclusive lifetime powertrain protection program. Visit in store or online at suntrupbuickgmc.com. Save more at Suntrup Buick GMC.
When you get hurt, you don't want to end up on the injured list. You want to get back in the game stronger than ever. At Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, we fight for you, making sure big insurance doesn't throw you a curveball. With over $25 billion recovered, we're the home run hitters you need.
This is way out there and gone.
Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Proud sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is Tom Ackerman. McKelvey Homes, founded in 1898, gives $1,898 back to nonprofits for every home that they sell. 1898. And this time around, it's to Circle of Concern, a food pantry in Valley Park. Most recently, McKelvey Homes gave back to the Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition for the 28 homes that they sold in the first quarter of the year. McKelvey Homes, McKelveyHomes.com.
I'm Tom Ackerman. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
All right, a few more minutes on DGS. Dave is out. Andrew's out. Rach and I are here. Matt Pauley's hanging out with us for the few minutes. And then, of course, Matt and I have the Redbird Rush Hour coming up after the 6 o'clock news. Wait, no, after the 5 o'clock news. And then pregame's going to start at 5:45 with the first pitch at 6:40 in Kansas City tonight. Rach,
What's
barbecue.
Yeah, today is actually National Barbecue Day.
I did not know this.
Why didn't you guys you guys always have food brought in? How do you not get food brought in on National Barbecue Day?
We didn't know, Matt.
We didn't know till the
fail.
last minute.
Yeah.
But they did a poll of people's favorite barbecue foods.
All right.
And they kind of pitted some, no pun intended. They pitted some things against each other. I'm curious to know how you guys stack up. Would you rather have a burger or a hot dog fresh off the barbecue grill?
Oh, burger. I mean, the dogs are great, but burger always wins.
Yeah, 100%.
See, I'm more prone to go towards a
Oh, yeah?
dog, but I am in the minority. Burgers actually got 78% of the vote.
Nice.
Hot dogs, 22%.
Yeah.
What now? Do you differentiate between like a brat and a hot dog?
Yeah, they're different.
Okay.
Yeah, they're different.
Because I would go brat over hot dog, and then brat versus burger becomes a closer battle.
Burger always wins.
What about chicken or pulled pork?
Ooh, that's a pulled pork. Yeah. Grilled chicken's great. Barbecue chicken's great. Pulled pork is better.
It had the chicken is always really consistent. Like you can get good pulled pork or not so good pulled pork. So assuming it's good pulled pork, going with the pulled pork.
Yeah.
I'm going pulled pork as well, but 47% said chicken, just 46% said pork. 7% of respondents said they don't want either. What's wrong with them?
Wieners.
For some reason, they put sausage and ribs up against each other.
Oh, yeah. Well, barbecue sauce, like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
I go sausage on that one.
I kind of would too.
Well,
I mean,
it's
ribs are great and everything, but the sausage.
Yeah, it kind of depends on like what Matt said. The ribs, if they're great, are better, but they're easy to get wrong.
Yes. There's nothing worse than like an overly chewy rib.
Yeah.
But the ribs did win with 56% of the vote. All right, let's move on to sides now. Potato salad or coleslaw?
Ooh.
I'm neither. I have strong convictions on this. I can't tell you how much I dislike each of those things.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wiener. I'm going to say, I'm going to go tater salad.
Yeah, I have to go tater salad too.
It's
and
close, though.
66% of respondents chose potato salad.
Call me
as well.
tater salad.
Macaroni salad or mac and cheese?
Oh, mac and cheese.
Mac and
no
cheese.
question.
Yeah, mac and cheese won hands
Yeah.
down, 77%.
Yeah,
of the
that's
vote.
even too low.
Okay, I know which one Wheels is going to pick between these two fruits, watermelon or pineapple.
Oh, well, pineapple.
Pineapple.
100
Yeah,
times
I'm
out
a
of 100.
pineapple too, but
Yeah.
69% of people say they would rather have watermelon.
I don't
with
like the
their
taste of
barbecue.
watermelon.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
it's fine, but like, is it barbecue food?
No. If you get a really, really good watermelon, it's different. But like the
It's
standard
like picnic food, but it's
Yeah.
not like, I don't think barbecue and I think watermelon.
Let's do one more. Baked beans or cornbread?
Well, one's more dangerous than the other. Cornbread.
cornbread.
Yeah, cornbread wins with 58%.
Join Lombardo Homes Saturday, May 17th for the grand opening of our newest decorated display at Autumn Hollow in Wentzville.